It's time for Wolverine football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Wolverine football is also brought to you by the Triangle Bar and Grill, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, the law offices of Owen Seaman, Bush Brothers Car Care, the Barber's Inn in Swissvale, LG3 Entertainment, Web Landings, A-Boss Opticians, Matthews Auto Service, and DeZubin Dental Associates. Now it's time for the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show.
A pleasant good evening and welcome to the Wolverine. Let's turn it over to the Woodland Hills Chamber Choir for today's national anthem. Again, we welcome you to the Wolverine of the Turtle Creek home of the Woodland Hills Wolverines, and tonight Woodland Hills takes on the Baldwin Highlanders in a WPIAL 5A Allegheny 9 conference matchup. Adam Gusky and Eric Shuley on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. We thank you for joining us no matter where you're joining us from. Woodland Hills 0-4 on the season, 0-3 within conference play. They come off of a 16-14 loss against USC here at the Wolverine a week ago. Meanwhile, Baldwin is 3-1 on the season, 1-1 within the conference, and they come off of a 48-42 overtime victory against the Moon Tigers last week. Last year, these two teams played out in Baldwin, and it was a 40-6 victory for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. We're going to step away for a couple of minutes, and when we return, Eric Shuley will join us with his pregame analysis as the pregame show rolls on. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com. The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 3/4 of a century. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now. Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, with locations in East Pittsburgh and Turtle Creek, is a member of the Hall of Excellence of the National Funeral Directors Association. This reflects the same pursuit of excellence by our Woodland Hills football team, cheerleaders, marching band, students, staff, and faculty. For over 110 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home has been honored to serve local families and to be a proud partner of the Woodland Hills communities.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back at the Wolverine, Woodland Hills taking on the Baldwin Highlanders. Adam Gusky, Eric Shuley on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Woodland Hills looking for their first victory of the season, while Baldwin looks to get on the winning track in conference play. They got a win last week against Moon, but they lost to Upper St. Clair in their other conference game. A conference win here for Woodland Hills goes a long way, not just for playoff seeding down the line, but more importantly for some confidence, getting some victories as the schedule doesn't get any easier next week, but does cool off a bit later down the road.
Absolutely. The Wolverines have to head to West Allegheny next week, but this week they're facing off against Baldwin, a team that likes to do it both ways. They like to pass the ball and they like to run the ball. Quarterback Mason Stahl, about almost 700 yards passing on the year. Running back Angelo Priority on the ground, a little over 400 yards on the year. So they like to mix it up, like to do things both ways. Wins this year against Fox Chapel and Butler, and against Moon last week, as we said, that tough loss to Upper St. Clair. See what the Wolverines defense can do. I had a dominant performance last week. Hopefully they can keep it up.
We're going to step away one more time here in the pregame show, and when we return, we'll be set for kickoff. Again, you're tuned into the Wolverines and the Baldwin Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Woodland Hills Football is brought to you in part by the law offices of Owen Seaman. Owen is a Woodland Hills alumnus who studied law at Duquesne University and has been practicing law in the Pittsburgh area for over 15 years. Attorney Owen Seaman's experience encompasses virtually every facet of criminal defense. If you find yourself in need of criminal defense representation, call Owen at 412-721-0412 or visit owenthelawyer.com. There are a few things that guys like more than a great haircut at a real barbershop. And at the Barber's Inn on Washington Avenue in Swissvale, you'll find both. Plus, you can relax in style on supple leather sofas while watching their big screen HD TV. You can even shoot some pool while you wait. But most importantly, you'll walk out the door with a haircut or shave that you're sure to love. Walk-ins are always welcome at the Barber's Inn. For more information, call 412-271-7434. And remember, real men come to the Barber's Inn.
LG3 Entertainment is a first-class disc jockey and karaoke entertainment company that serves the Pittsburgh and surrounding areas. They offer a wide range of music entertainment for weddings, anniversaries, school dances, corporate events, and more. They also offer beautiful chair cover linen rentals to give your event the elegance it deserves. They offer many more services, so go to their website today and see why so many choose LG3 Entertainment for the best in family fun entertainment. Whether you need a new website or want to improve your existing site, Web Landings can serve your needs. Web Landings provides professional, easy-to-maintain websites for businesses, organizations, and individuals. Discover more at weblandings.com and find out how editing your site can be as easy as using a word processor. Plus, we offer 1 year of free hosting for any website developed. Visit weblandings.com today.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back at the Wolverine as Woodland Hills takes on Baldwin in a WPIAL 5A Allegheny 9 conference matchup. Adam Gusky, Eric Shuley on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. For our folks tuned in on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, we'll paint the picture for you. Along the near sideline are the Baldwin Highlanders. They wear their road white uniforms, white jerseys, white pants, purple numerals, with the black trim and the purple helmets with their numbers on the right side, much like the Alabama Crimson Tide. Woodland Hills, they pace the far sidelines. They wear their all-black home uniforms, black jerseys, black pants, turquoise numerals with the white trim, and the turquoise helmets with the black ears and stripes. Woodland Hills won the toss, elected to defer to the second half. So Baldwin chose to receive to begin the first half. Chucky Hanchett will kick off for the Wolverines, and back deep to return for the Baldwin Highlanders is Jaron Kelly, and joining him back there is Tyler Gerchak. Hanchett gets the signal, readies his team, and we are underway in Turtle Creek, PA. Ball down to the 7-yard line where it'll be returned by a Baldwin Highlander on the return, Jaron Kelly. And Kelly out across the 30 to the 33-yard line where the stop is made by a Wolverine. Tackle on the play by Armani Bailey, and that'll be 1st and 10 for Baldwin with the ball at their own 33.
Decent return for Baldwin. See how they can do with their offense, which I said before likes to mix it up. So probably see a decent balance of pass and run for the Highlanders tonight.
Ball in the left hash for the Baldwin Highlanders as they come straight from the sideline to the line of scrimmage. They'll split 2 receivers to the near side right, 1 to the far boundary left. That's the short side of the field. Quarterback Mason Stahl in the shotgun with a sidecar to his left-hand side, and Zachary Pettit. Motion man Kelly from right to left, play action. Toss across the middle. The pass is caught by Zachary Pettit, and he is brought down after a gain of about a half a dozen, but a flag on the play as well. And we'll check in with our referee, John Skurin, for the call. Flag-laden game a week ago, especially against the Wolverines.
We have 2 penalties against the offense. We have ineligible downfield, and we have offensive pass interference. The offensive pass interference will be taken from the previous spot, 15-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
So that penalty go back, Baldwin up from that original line of scrimmage of the 33-yard line back to the 18, so it'll be 1st down and 25 for Baldwin after that OPI.
As you talked about, Adam, the Wolverines have to be more disciplined this game, and that's a great start for the Wolverines, backing the Highlanders up.
Ball remains on the left hash as the Highlanders will now stack the line of scrimmage with wings on both sides and a motion man now from left to right. Mason Stahl steps under center this time, and he's going to hand off. Ball carrier brought down near the line of scrimmage. Sidney Summers in on the tackle, as is Caleb Brevard. And just a modest gain for Pettit, maybe just a hair past the line of scrimmage. It'll stay 2nd down and 25 for Baldwin.
I think the Wolverines would be happy if the Highlanders keep it on the ground the majority of the night, but I do think we will see it in the air plenty.
Stahl this time in the shotgun with Pettit to his right-hand side, 2 receivers to the wide side right and to the wide side left as the ball's in the center of the field. High snap, Stahl gathers it in. He's pressured. He's going to run to the near side. He's cut down 3 yards deep in the backfield. A big play by Anthony Meredith. Back at the 15-yard line, a loss of 3 brings up 3rd down and 28.
A name we call often, Anthony Meredith. Getting in there quick, making a big play from his linebacker position, and a great way to start for the Wolverines, and hopefully they can shut down this 3rd and long for the Highlanders.
Again, Baldwin a week ago defeated Moon in overtime on the road. That was a big win and a conference win for the Highlanders. Stahl in the shotgun with Pettit to his right-hand side. Ball on the right hash this time as Pettit, or rather Stahl, looks to his left, throws to his left. The pass is complete to Connor Lavelle. And Lavelle is brought down by a Wolverine at the 28-yard line. So it'll be a gain of 13, but the punt unit has to come on because it's 4th and still very long.
Great job by the defense there, not giving up anything too deep, keeping them from getting run a yardage after the catch. Nice tackle by Jaden Lucas there for the Wolverines.
Lucas, last week's State Senator Jay Costa player of the game. He's shown very brightly for Woody High. Punt sky high by Aaron Exler, and it'll bounce out of bounds along the near sideline as Jay Smith wanted nothing to do with it, and they'll spot the ball at the 34-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills.
See what the Wolverines offense can do against this Highlanders defense. On the year, they're giving up just about 21 points per game, which isn't a ton, but it isn't a great defensive effort so far. Also playing the likes of Fox Chapel and Butler, two teams struggling this year.
This is their first sideline warning.
Sideline warning issued to Baldwin, so they get one more chance, and then a personal foul will be issued against the visiting Highlanders. So again, 1st and 10 for Woody High with the ball at their own 34-yard line. 9:41 to play here in a scoreless first quarter. High backfield, Judson steps under center with receivers split to either side and a tight end to the right. Handoff, Christopher Jones straight up the gut. Little surprise move by head coach Tim Bossard on the first play from scrimmage, and it's an 8-yard gain for the fullback.
Great job by Chris Jones there, getting the quick handoff from Judson. We haven't seen that play too much this year, but it's a play that we know Coach Novak liked to use, and it has certainly been effective for the Wolverines.
And that quick hitter right over the center, and a nice job pulling there by Caleb Brevard. Came from the left guard, stepped out there, cleared out the trap very nicely, and a big hole led to an 8-yard gain. 2nd and 2 now for Woody High. Ball still on the left hash as Judson will step under center with an eye backfield behind him, a receiver split to either side. Tight end to the right of the formation, hard count Judson. This time the handoff Meredith. Slides left, then cuts it back to the right. He'll pick up 3. He needed 2. It's a Woodland Hills first down.
Great run by Meredith, knowing where the first down marker is, able to get it and keep the chains moving for the first time in the game for either team.
Clock winding under 9 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Woodland Hills hosting the Baldwin Highlanders homecoming here in Turtle Creek, PA. The Wolverines come to the line of scrimmage with the ball on the left hash. They'll split 2 receivers to the wide side right. Eye backfield behind Judson with the tight end to his left. Judson's going to hand off again. It's Meredith powering his way forward this time near the midfield stripe. About 4.5-yard gain there. As the tackle was made by Pettit. And that brings up, they'll back it up to the 49. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
This running game is effective early. I'm certain that we will see more of it throughout the game, but could open up the passing game a little bit for Judson.
Second and 6 for Woody High as they come out of the huddle. 2 receivers to the wide side right. Tight end to the left, eye backfield. Handoff up the gut, Christopher Jones powering his way forward. Still on his feet, finally dragged down after a gain of about 4. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 6. Tackle on the play by Connor Lavelle.
As I said before, we've seen mostly Anthony Meredith and William Clark in the running game so far this year for the Wolverines. So it's nice to see a little bit of a difference here with Christopher Jones. More of the power that we see from both Meredith and Clark.
The 3rd and 2 for the Wolverines. Ball favoring the center of the field this time, so receivers split to either side with an eye backfield behind Judson. Handoff, Meredith cuts right, slides back to the left. 1st down and more for Woodland Hills. He needed 2, picked up 4.
If it's effective, you can't deny it. Keeping going up the gut here of the Wolverines, but another 1st down. So until they stop it, I think Coach Tim is going to stick with it.
So 1st and 10 for Woody High with the ball at the Baldwin 43-yard line. Receivers split to either side as the ball's still in the middle of the field, and an eye backfield behind Judson with the tight end to the right. Hard count by Judson. He's going to hand off. Meredith, big hole. Driving his way forward inside of the 35. Down towards the 30. They'll mark him down at the 32. A gain of 11, and it's another Woodland Hills 1st down.
For a second, I thought he might break free, but still a very nice run, and another 1st down for the Wolverines on the ground, keeping it on the ground the whole time so far. And when you got a guy like Anthony Meredith and William Clark and Christopher Jones, why not?
Wolverine split 2 receivers to the wide side right. Tight end to the left, eye backfield behind Judson. Handoff, Meredith goes to the left. Driving his way inside of the 25, down to the 24-yard line. A pickup of 8 yards brings up 2nd and a very manageable 2.
Another tough run by Anthony Meredith. Now this 2nd and short situation. See if they opt to keep it on the ground, or if maybe they try one to the end zone here to throw the Highlanders off.
Nasir Penn on the tackle on that previous play for Baldwin. Again, the eye backfield behind Judson. Hard count by Judson, and Baldwin breached the neutral zone, and Woodland Hills is going to get a first down out of it.
We have a dead ball, encroachment on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and the result is a first down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills in the red zone. The ball will be at the 19-yard line. 1st and 10 for Woody High.
Nice job by Judson there, and good job by the offensive line of the Wolverines. Staying still, not jumping.
High backfield again behind Judson, and this time the hard count affects the Wolverines negatively as they're going to be pushed back 5 yards.
We have a dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Right as I say, the Wolverines were well disciplined there for not jumping. Right after that, they do. That's okay, it's still first down. Now 15 for the Wolverines. Plenty of chances to get this first down and get inside the 10-yard line.
High backfield behind Judson. Receivers split to either side as the ball's on the left hash. Delayed handoff, cutting right Meredith. Now he'll slide back to the left. He'll drive his way down to the 21-yard line. A pickup of 3 on that play brings up 2nd down and a dozen.
Up close to the original line of scrimmage goes Meredith there. Sticking with up the middle and off tackle of the Wolverines. We'll see if we maybe get a pitch, something to the edge. Let's see if we can utilize that speed that the Wolverines have a little more here. Mix it up.
Woody High will split 2 receivers to the wide side left. As Judson hands off, William Clark hesitates, gets to the 20, but no further as he's driven to the turf by a handful of Highlanders. Leading the charge, Zachary Pettit again from his linebacker spot.
Had a feeling that was coming soon, Adam, that Wolverines would get bottled up once in a while after so many effective runs up the middle and off tackle for the Wolverines here. Now in a tough 3rd and long situation.
3rd and 11 for Woodland Hills. The ball in the middle of the field at the 20-yard line. The line to gain is the 9. Woody High will split receivers to either side, tight end. On the right of the formation, eye backfield behind Judson. Play action. Judson rolling to his left, dumps it off. The pass complete. Christopher Jones, he's forced out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Not enough for a first down, but it'll bring up 4th down and about 2. And it's decision time for Tim Boster. Does he bring the field goal unit on? Or they're going to say he got all the way to the 9, so they may have to measure this one. Boy, that was a very favorable spot for Woodland Hills. Taking a look at Jones here on the near sideline. He's forced out, looks from our vantage point like at around the 11.
It looked like his foot came out, his left foot came out, and where the ball was looked like it was around the 10, I would say.
Either way, not enough for first down from our vantage point, but the officials say it is. 1st and goal for Woodland Hills, ball at the 9 on the left hash. Delayed handoff, and Clark lost the handle on the handoff, and it's picked up by Baldwin. Then it's loose. Gavin Judson rips it away from a Highlander. It's still loose. And now there's a mass of humanity back near the 28-yard line. A flag comes in late. And down at the bottom of the pile is Connor Lavelle for Baldwin. Now, the flag isn't going to have an effect on the outcome of the play, but it certainly can have an effect on where this ball is going to be spotted after the fumble recovery by the Baldwin Highlanders. So a bad handoff between Clark and Judson cost Woodland Hills a possession inside of the Baldwin 10-yard line.
Yeah, after you're going all the way down the field, really tiring them out and discouraging the Highlanders' defense, have something like that happen. Not good for the Wolverines at all.
Looks like this is going to be against Baldwin, so at least that's some decent news for Woodland Hills. We'll check in with our referee, John Scurrin.
There was no foul on the play. It'll be White's ball after enforcement of their second sideline warning. This is a second sideline warning to White.
Interesting, a second sideline warning is issued to the Baldwin Highlanders.
I thought a second sideline warning would end in a penalty, but it will not. for the Highlanders, so they will take over on downs after that very tough fumble for the Wolverines. After going all the way down the field, knocking on the door, very tough, now gives the Highlanders a lot of momentum as they will start their second drive of the game. Out around the 23-yard line for 1st and 10. Mason Stahl under center.
High backfield behind Stahl. And Stahl's going to run off of play action to the near side. The pass is complete, hard hit in the open field by Michael Coleman as he brings down Connor Lavelle. After a gain of about 5 out to the 28-yard line, make it the 29. So Lavelle, 2 big plays in a row for Baldwin. Fumble recovery follows that up with a nice reception, making it a 2nd and manageable 5 with the ball at the 29-yard line. Line to gain just shy of the 24. High backfield behind Mason Stahl. As low motion, a runner from right to left, bringing 2 receivers to the left of the formation. Stahl's going to hand off to Pettit. Pettit gets to the line of scrimmage and no further as he's driven to the turf. Leading the charge, Michael Roman for Woody High. No gain, brings up 3rd and 5.
Great job by the Wolverines to stuff that play before it could go anywhere. Puts the Highlanders in a tough situation here.
So Baldwin out of the huddle with 2:25 on a clock rolling here in the first quarter. Shotgun for Stahl. Receivers split to either side, deuces to either side. And Stahl has Pettit to his left. Hard count. Woodland Hills doesn't breach the neutral zone, though. Stahl looks to his left, throws to his left. The pass intended for Jaron Kelly is incomplete. Kelly had it right in his mitts, and it just hit the turf, incomplete.
Kelly was thinking about that first down marker and getting there and turned his head, took his eye off the ball, and it resulted in an incompletion for the Highlanders, and they will be forced to punt for the 2nd time this game.
Clock stop now with 2:07 to play. So a Highlander punt after this drive started at their own 23-yard line after the Woodland Hills fumble. Punter on for the Highlanders is Aaron Exler. He'll step to his right, booted away. Jay Smith has an opportunity this time from the zone 30. Running to his right across the grain, has a blocker in front of him. Smith out across the 50, inside of the 45, and he'll be brought down in Highlanders territory at the 42-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. They'll say the 43, actually.
Jay Smith, one of the many weapons and skill players that the Wolverines have. Starts the Wolverines great field position, does Smith. Chance to get in the end zone here for the Wolverines after that very deflating end to that first drive. Have to forget it quick and come back here.
First and 10, ball on the right hash. 2 receivers split to the wide side left. Judson looking to go on a hard count, and his offensive line makes early.
False start on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
Wind starting to whip down there, as you can hear on our official's microphone. And as we look to the west, to our right-hand side here, we can see some thick clouds. And if they're headed this way, that could be trouble, because there is some rain predicted in the forecast for tonight. Some severe thunderstorms that could pop up at any moment due to the cold front headed this way and the humidity here in western PA. Handoff, delay, Meredith bouncing right. Inside of the 45, still on his feet towards the 40, inside of the 40, and he'll be down at around the 39-yard line, maybe the 38. Decent pickup there. That'll bring up a 2nd and very manageable 5 after it was 1st and 15.
Great run by Meredith on 1st down when you're pushed back like that. Puts him in a nice 2nd down situation here.
Handoff, Meredith. Lowering his shoulder, he'll get to the line of scrimmage and maybe drive his way for a yard before being brought down. Big man at the bottom of the pile for Baldwin is Elion Peary, 6 feet, 250.
Wolverine sticking with the ground game here. Not able to squeeze through and break one. Getting close a couple times. That's what they opt to do on this 3rd and 3.
Inside handoff. Jones had to retreat after he was met by a wave of white jerseys, and then he's brought down on the retreat. Tackle on the play by Jaquan Henderson Parker. And a loss on that play of a yard, maybe 2, back closer to the 38-yard line, brings up 4th down and 5. And the punt unit comes on as Hanchett will punt for Woody High.
Highlanders definitely sniffed that one out, had the box loaded, and were ready for that.
And it looks like Woodland Hills may be satisfied to take this 0-0 tie to the quarter break, and that'll give us an opportunity to step away as well. Again, Woodland Hills nothing, Baldwin nothing. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Set to begin the 2nd quarter. Woodland Hills set to punt it away to the Baldwin Highlanders. After they started this drive at the Baldwin 43, they only pushed the ball 5 yards to the 38. Ultimately, first play, there was a penalty and then a gain of about 10 for Meredith. But then Christopher Jones went backwards, and Woodland Hills not able to do anything with this drive, and Chucky Hanchett's on to punt for the Wolverines. Hanchett steps over, grabs a loose punt, boots it away, spiraling punt, carries into the end zone for a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Highlanders with the ball at the 20.
Where that strong leg hurts you a little bit. The low snap caused Hanchett to rush that one a little bit. It was more of a line drive and had enough to get into the end zone for a touchback for the Highlanders.
Baldwin starting their drives today at their own 33, their own 23, and this one at their own 20. Woodland Hills starting their drives at their own 34 and then at the Baldwin 43. Woodland Hills coming off of a loss to Upper St. Clair last week. Next week at West Day. Then they'll host the Kiski Cavaliers on October 5th. Travel to Seneca Valley to take on the Raiders for the first time in a long time. Then the Wolverines are at Moon and wrap up the regular season at home against the Char Valley Colts in a conference game. Play action as Stahl actually did hand that ball off. His play action was so convincing there that I thought he maintained the ball and dropped back for a pass. Instead, he handed off to Sidorik, and Sidorik picks up about 2 from the 20 to the 22.
Wolverines defense doing a great job so far of stuffing the Highlanders, who have had a successful offense this year. As we said earlier, a nice balance of the pass and the run. Not able to do too much of either so far tonight.
Two receivers to the near side left eye backfield. Stahl's going to hand off. Ball carrier running to the near side left has nowhere to go as the tackle is made by Taiwan Milton. And a loss on that play of 4 brings up 3rd down and a dozen.
Not able to get that edge. It's a tough thing to do against the Wolverines defense. They're able to string it out. Take them back for a loss.
That brings up 3rd down and a dozen after the 4-yard loss by Luke Lofert for Baldwin. Now Mason Stahl in the shotgun. He'll motion receiver from left to right, bringing 3 receivers to the wide side right. Stahl, high shotgun snap, rolls to his right-hand side, tries to dump it off, and the pass is incomplete as he was looking for Nasir Penn, but the pass down in the artificial surface here at the Wolverine brings up 4th and a dozen, the punt unit on here. for Baldwin.
Better pass, may have been able to get Penn and might have been able to get a first down there. He had some Wolverines around him. But pass was low from Stahl on the run. He was unable to connect, and this will result in the third punt for the Highlanders tonight.
Aaron Exler will punt for Baldwin. He stands at his own 5-yard line. The line of scrimmage is the 18. Good snap as Exler gets it away, and it will be returned by Jay Smith from his own 43-yard line. Smith to the near sideline. Slides through one tackle but can't get through the grasp of Connor Lavelle. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. Now the ball right now is set at the 44-yard line, but a flag came in late. And if that's against Woody High, they're going to start inside of their own territory.
Yeah, Adam looked like Michael Roman late came with a block in the back, so even if it wouldn't have been late, still would have been a penalty on the Wolverines. That's that undisciplined play that we're talking about last week. The Wolverines have to stop.
We have a block in the back on the receivers. It's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. It'll be their first down.
Well, the ball will be backed up from the 44 to the 46. Woodland Hills still with decent starting field position and a net return of just 3 yards for Jay Smith. Third drive of the game for the Woodland Hills offense as Gavin Judson brings his team out of the huddle and will send 2 receivers to the wide side left and 1 to the near side right, and Michael Coleman. And a timeout is called by Woodland Hills head coach Tim Bostard.
We have a timeout by the offense. It's their first timeout.
Still scoreless with 10:08 to play in the second quarter. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 3/4 of a century. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Homecoming in Turtle Creek as Woodland Hills hosts the Baldwin Highlanders. 1st and 10 for Woody High with the ball at their own 46-yard line. Ball on the right hash. Woodland Hills with 2 receivers to the short side right, 1 to the far boundary left. Judson in the shotgun with sidecars to either side. Smith, motion man, handoff Clark. And Clark will drive his way forward into Highlanders territory, finally brought down at the 47-yard line, so a pickup of 7 on that play brings up 2nd down and 3.
Very nice run by William Clark there. Some nice blocking by the Wolverines, able to get it into a nice second and manageable situation.
Clock winding, 9:45 to play here in the first half. After Clark was brought down after that 7-yard gain, making it 2nd down and 3. Ball in the middle of the field. Receivers split to either side, and a slot man to the right. Now motions from right to left, and that'll be Jay Smith taking the handoff on the end around. He'll drive his way forward. He's got the first down. Big play saved by Matthias Baumann. And had Baumann not been there to make that stop, I think Jay Smith would have had a whole heck of a lot more yards, but still it's enough for a Woodland Hills first down.
That acceleration when he took that ball was fantastic. You can see he wanted it, and he had so much speed along the edge. But a nice tackle by Baumann, as you said. Was able to contain it, but Wolverines still get the first down, and they're in Baldwin Highlands territory.
Shotgun again, sidecars to either side of Judson. As he'll motion a man from left to right, and the handoff, Clark going away from the motion. He's got a hole. He's got the ball inside of the 40, down towards the 37-yard line before being driven to the turf and driven back. But another good first down pickup for Woodland Hills as they went away from the motion on the jet sweep, and instead it was Clark on the carry.
And you can see Vaughn Givenderpool here as a lead blocker for Clark, able to get one Highlander out of the way and create some more room, running room for Clark.
You see her Penn on the tackle for Baldwin, but still another 7-yard gain on first down for William Clark. 2nd and 3. Hard count Judson. He's going to hand off on the delay. Meredith driving his way forward. He's got enough for the first down, picking up 3 to the first down flag.
The Wolverines will move the chains again. Now seeing the run out of the shotgun, something that Gavin Judson's a little bit more familiar with.
Elion Perry in on the tackle, as well as Tyler Gerchak for Baldwin. And it's 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills with the ball at the 38-yard line. Motion man from left to right. Low snap, but it's gathered in. And then the handoff to Jaden Lucas, and he is pounded to the ground. A couple of Highlanders there, including Elon Perry. Also in on the stop is Noah Bartik. And they'll say that the ball carrier gets back to the line of scrimmage, which is good news for Woodland Hills because that could have been a loss the way there was penetration by Baldwin. Again, shotgun with sidecars to either side, 2 receivers to the near side right. Lucas, the motion man from right to left. The handoff. Clark slides out of a tackle, drives his way back to the line of scrimmage and picks up a yard or 2 before being taken down to the turf. Tackle on the play by a Highlander there after a gain of about 2. But Clark, after sidestepping the first tackle, had a nice crease.
Yeah, that would have been a big loss if Clark had not broken that first tackle attempt there. That would be tackler by the Highlanders.
And it's number 53 who's not on the roster given to us by Baldwin or in our computer system. So, unfortunately, 53, you made the stop. And again, Woodland Hills with a false start. And instead of 3rd down and 8, it's going to be 3rd down and 13.
We have a dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
Something that the Wolverines are having a very, very tough time correcting. The pre-snap penalties on both sides of the ball, but especially on the offensive side. Too many false starts this year for the Wolverines.
Just got word that number 53 for Baldwin is number 30 on our roster, Dorian Ford. So Ford credited on the tackle on that previous play for Baldwin. Now it's 3rd and 13 for Woodland Hills. Judson in the shotgun, looking left, throwing left. Has a receiver down that far sideline. Michael Coleman just couldn't pull it in, and that'll bring up 4th down and 13.
Yeah, Adam, he had him. Coleman got some separation. It was a nice pass by Judson, but was not able to pull that in, which would have been a big play for the Wolverines down the sideline.
How about that speed by Coleman? He just blew past Nasir Penn to get towards that football, but just couldn't pull it in. So the punt unit comes on for Woody High on 4th down and 13 with the ball at the Baldwin 36-yard line. Another low snap, but gathered in by Hanchett. He gets a quick one away, an end-over-end punt that'll take a bounce in favor of Woodland Hills, and it'll be smartly down right around the 5-yard line. Heady play there by Tavian Brooks, who had a big interception a week ago for Woody High.
And the Wolverines having some success on offense, especially in the running game, haven't attempted many passes. Maybe only 2, I believe, on the night, but they just cannot continue those drives, getting a few first downs each time, and then they stall out.
6:14 to play here in quarter number 2. Still scoreless between Woodland Hills and Baldwin. Highlanders starting this drive at their own, they'll say the 6-yard line. That's where they'll spot the ball. The Highlanders straight from the sideline to the line of scrimmage again. As Stahl, the quarterback, is in the shotgun with a sidecar to his left and Jaron Kelly to receivers right, wing to the right as well, and 1 receiver to the near side left. Handoff Kelly. He's got nowhere to go, running to the left-hand side, tried to cut it up the field, and then he's dumped down by a couple of Wolverines. Leading the charge, Taylon Brooks for Woodland Hills. 6-foot sophomore, and a flag is down. We'll check in with our referee, John Skurin.
We have holding on the offense. That penalty is declined. It'll be 2nd down.
So smart to decline that penalty by the Woodland Hills bench there because they'd rather take the down and the 2-yard loss instead of keeping it 1st down and half the distance to the goal line because it would have just been a loss of 3 on the penalty.
Certainly no reason really to take that unless you want that extra yard like you said. I watched those snaps too for the Highlanders. That one almost over the head of Stahl.
Ball towards the right hash this time as Stahl will step under center with an eye backfield behind him. Wing to the left. One receiver to the far side right. Stahl's going to throw it down that far boundary into double coverage, and somehow the receiver down that far sideline, Nicholas Petrelli, got a step on the two Woodland Hills D-backs. One had tripped down, the other one had to recover, and still the pass fell incomplete down that far sideline as the pass intended for the receiver down that far side.
Definitely good coverage by the Wolverines. I believe it was Jaden Lucas and Michael Coleman at first look.
And I misspoke, that was Andres Howell, the intended receiver, not number 13, Nicholas Petrelli.
It looked like either Tavian Brooks or Jaden Lucas over there, along with Michael Coleman.
3rd down, 13, ball at the 4-yard line, so more like 3rd and 12. As the snap high to Stahl, and he'll hand off. The ball carrier has nowhere to go down there. Carrying the ball is Luke Lofert, but he had no room as the tackle is made by Taylon Brooks, among others.
Seeing more of what we saw last week.
We have a timeout on the defense. That is their second timeout.
Timeout on the field. We'll step away 2. Still knotted up at 0-0 with 5.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Correct. There is no timeout.
Okay, so no timeout on the field.
We have our first sideline warning against the home team.
Well, that's all worked out now. No timeout, sideline warning against Woodland Hills. It's 4th and a dozen with 5.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Punt unit on for Baldwin again, as we've seen a lot of the punt units from both teams today. And Aaron Exler gets this one away, and it'll be returnable by Jaden Lucas. He bobbled it, then gathered it in inside of the 30, the 25, the 20, down the far sideline, 15-10, cutting it back towards the goal line, spun out of bounds inside of the 5. It's 1st and goal for Woody High.
And you noticed that Jaden Lucas was back there, not Jay Smith. Now, both of them are great return men for the Wolverines, so either one of them probably would have been able to take that to the house or just about to the house, as Jaden Lucas did. A great return, and it sets the Wolverines up right in front of the end zone of the Baldwin Highlanders.
Lucas caught that ball at the 43-yard line, so a return of 40 yards for Jaden Lucas, setting Woodland Hills up with this 1st and goal. So Woodland Hills with the ball at the Baldwin 3. Judson under center, handoff. Meredith cuts left, cuts back to the right. He's into the end zone for a 3-yard Woodland Hills touchdown.
Big plays for the Wolverines. That is what they need. They've been able to move the ball pretty well, but as we said before, the offense has stalled out a few times. They needed a big play like that to put them in great field position to just shove it into the end zone there with Anthony Meredith.
So a 3-yard touchdown run by Anthony Meredith puts Woodland Hills on the board first, 6-zip on top of the Baldwin Highlanders. Chucky Hanson on to attempt the PAT out of the hold of Jaden Lucas. Low snap, but Lucas gets it down. The kick is up, and that kick is good. And with 5:08 to play in quarter number 1, Woodland Hills leads Baldwin 7-zip. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Serving the Turtle Creek Valley and neighboring Woodland Hills communities for over 110 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home now offers crematory services at their Turtle Creek location. Families choosing cremation can have added peace of mind knowing that their loved one never leaves the care of Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, and that their crematory is used exclusively for the families they serve.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
3-yard touchdown run by Anthony Meredith. PAT tacked on by Chucky Hanson, and Woodland Hills on top of the Baldwin Highlanders, 7-0. As Meredith got that handoff, cut right, left, and then back to the right and into the end zone for the Woodland Hills touchdown, as Woody High takes advantage of a 40-yard punt return by Jaden Lucas, setting them up 1st and goal at the 3.
Lucas, one of those many skill players the Wolverines have. Love to utilize in any way that they can.
So Hanshaw will kick off for Woody High as a couple of Highlanders are back deep to return. One on the left hash at the 20, the other retreating on the right hash back towards the 5, where the return man will take it up the field, and that is Nasir Penn, who's brought down near the 20-yard line. Get out to the 21, where it's 1st and 10 for Baldwin.
Great job on special teams by the Wolverines, not letting anything big up here so far. Able to contain the Highlanders' return men.
Leading the way for Woodland Hills, Armani Bailey on that special teams tackle for Woodland Hills. So it's 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills with the ball at the 21-yard line, or for Baldwin rather, with the ball at the 21-yard line on the right hash as the Highlanders again come from the sideline to the line of scrimmage. Mason Stahl will set in the shotgun with Jaron Kelly, the sidecar to his left, 2 receivers to the wide side left, 1 to the short side right with the tight end on that right side as well. Stahl will motion Penn from right to left, bringing 3 receivers to the left of the formation. High snap, Stahl, 3-step drop, now rolls to his right. He's wrapped. He eludes 1 tackler, a second, drives his way through a 3rd, and is brought down after a gain of about 1, and that could have been a sack for a loss of a half dozen.
Yeah, the Wolverines got great penetration there, but they were unable to take down Stahl as he slithered through there to get a yard or 2 for the Highlanders. It's one of those things that Sidney Summers, one of your best tacklers, usually makes that play in the backfield.
Brevard missed the tackle as well before finally Tavian Brooks forced the quarterback Stahl down after a gain of actually 2, bringing up 2nd down and 8. Two receivers split to either side as the ball's on the right hash, and Stahl is in the shotgun. Sidecar to his left, and Zachary Pettit. And some movement by the Woodland Hills defensive front. A long time there for that ball to get off, and I think that drew Caleb Brevard into the neutral zone. Confirmed with our referee, John Squirren.
We have a dead ball, delay on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
And I was starting to think, we're getting close to that delay a game against the Baldwin Highlanders, and ultimately that was the call. Now Woodland Hills, one of the few teams in WPIAL 5A without a play clock at their stadium.
Teams can't say it's a disadvantage because Wolverines have to play with it as well. So
I concur completely. Just like the mud back in the day, both teams played on the same surface. Trips left, 1 receiver to the far boundary right, ball in the right hash. The Stahl's in the shotgun. High snap, Stahl's going to toss it over to the near side, and with the football is Jaron Kelly, and Jaron Kelly's going to be pushed out of bounds as he approaches the 30-yard line, and there's going to be a penalty against the Baldwin Highlanders. Michael Roman adamant that it was against the visiting team.
Holding on the offense.
That's going to cost Baldwin 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Holding on the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the infraction. Replay, 2nd down.
Spot of the foul was the 28, so the ball will be back at the 18-yard line. We talked about the clouds rolling in and the fact that it's warm and humid here in southwestern PA as summers wrap it up. 80 degrees, 68% humidity, but those clouds rolling in, that could be ominous because there are thunderstorms in the forecast for tonight. Hopefully they stay away until after this football game is over. 2nd down and 13 with the ball at the 18. The line to gain is the 31. Straight drop back for Stahl. He's pressured. He's forced down. He tried a shovel pass to nobody, and it was nearly into the hands of Anthony Meredith. Had he had another step to gather that ball in, it would have been a pick 6 for the Woodland Hills linebacker.
Very dangerous play there by Mason Stahl. Apparently, he watches a lot of Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, who loves to make those type of plays, but he usually has somebody there. Stahl had nobody there except for Wolverines, and almost cost him 6.
That'll bring up 3rd down and 13 with the ball at the 18. Clock stopped with 4:28 to play here in quarter number 2. Woodland Hills on top of Baldwin 7-0 in this WPIAL 5A Allegheny 9 conference matchup. 2 receivers to either side. Looked like the slot on the right moved early. No whistles blow. Instead, the snap is off, and the pass is complete to Andres Howell. And Howell is brought down shy of the 30-yard line at the 28. So it'll be a pickup of 10, but that'll still bring up a 3rd down and 3. Or 4th down and 3, rather. And a flag is down, too.
Illegal motion against the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
Pre-snap penalties killing Baldwin today. As they had picked up 10 yards there. Instead, they're going to be marched back 5, and it's going to be 3rd down and 18 with the ball at the 13 instead of 4th down and 3. Twins to either side with the ball on the left hash. Stahl in the shotgun with the sidecar to his right. High snap. Stahl looking left, throwing left. Has the receiver to this near sideline, but the pass is incomplete, looking for Andres Howell. And the incomplete pass brings up 4th down and 18 as the punt unit will come on for the visiting Highlanders.
Yeah, that would have been close, but it looks like that still would have been short as his momentum was carrying him out of bounds. So the Wolverines get the ball back here in pretty good field position.
Next week, Woodland Hills hits the road, travels to West Allegheny to take on the West A Indians in a conference matchup. Always a tough team to play since joining 5A. And the punt blocked. And it's bouncing loose, and it will carry out of the back of the end zone. And the big block there for Christopher Jones as he blocked the punt of the new punter in there, Jackson Baldwin.
Very nice play by Chris Jones there. Obviously, you would hope that that ball would take a favorable bounce for the Wolverines and enable Chris Jones to pick that up. 2 very close plays for the Wolverines on that almost interception by Meredith.
The ball was blocked out of the end zone, therefore it is a safety.
And that play by Chris Jones there, but hey, you still get 2 points and the ball.
It's good news for Woodland Hills. Like you said, they get 2 points out of it. They'll get the ball back in just a minute when we return. Woodland Hills 9, Baldwin 0. It's for the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. .org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
Just over 4 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Woodland Hills on top of Baldwin 9-0. A safety on a block punt by Christopher Jones as the ball bounced out of the back of the end zone. Now Jackson Baldwin will kick it away after having the punt blocked a moment ago. A low kick that'll carry him off of a Wolverine. Then it's scooped up by William Clark at the 40-yard line as he cuts across the grain. Inside of Highlander territory, 50 to the 40. Inside of the 45 where he's wrapped, driving his way forward, still on his feet. Inside of the 30, finally brought down near the 37-yard line, and a big return there for William Clark.
Team after team has trouble taking down William Clark. He is just a force when he gets the ball in his hands, and he was excited to get that return. We've seen his return ability so far this year. He had a very nice return against Peters Township and I believe against Bethel Park as well. Setting up the Wolverines here in great field position with just under 4 minutes till the half.
3:49 to play to be exact here in the second quarter. Woodland Hills with this football at the Baldwin 27. Judson looking left, and he's going to be wrapped and brought down as the Highlanders were in there very quickly, and making the play for the Highlanders is Noah Bartrick.
And no time there for Judson. They were in on him right away. Looked like the routes being run by the receivers did not allow him to get rid of that ball quick enough, although he really only had a second or two. to get rid of that ball.
Second and 17 as Judson's under center. Hard count. Hand off Clark. He's got nowhere to go, but he spins away from tacklers. Bring it to the near side. Sidestepping Highlanders. A broken play turns into a big play as William Clark is going to be brought down near the 21-yard line. And that could have been bad news for Woody High. Instead, William Clark takes it all the way down to the 20, they'll say, for a pickup of 15 yards.
One thing that Wolverine running backs have always done well. You think you got them, they slip out and they kill you for a big gain, and that puts the Wolverines in a nice situation here as to what they could have been in, now in a 3rd and about 3.
Ball at the 20 on 3rd down and 3. As Judson steps under center and will hand off to William Clark, who lowers the boom, drives his way forward, gets close to that first down flag. If they spot him at the 17, that'll be enough for a first down.
We'll have to see here. Looked like the initial spot was a little bit short, and they're going to say 4th down, so I think this is a no-brainer here, obviously. Rather than kicking the field goal, it'll be a little bit long, although we know Hanchett has a strong leg. Why not go for it here, though?
Yeah, Chucky Hanchett a week ago had an opportunity for a game-winning field goal. It was just partially blocked and still nearly had enough leg to get it over the crossbar. So 4th and inches here. Gavin Judson brings the Wolverines to the line of scrimmage. Receiver split to either side, high backfield behind him. Handoff. Clark hesitates, springs forward. He's got the first down and more. Finally brought down at the 15-yard line. Good patience there for William Clark. Leads to a Woodland Hills first down.
Very nice run by Clark, doing exactly what he had to do there. Getting the first down for the Wolverines. Just got to be aware of the clock here. You still got plenty of time with where you're at on the field, but you just want to make sure it doesn't slip away from you.
Good job there by Clark to drive through the initial contact by Matthias Baumann to pick up an extra yard on that play. High backfield again for Judson with 90 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Delay handoff. Clark goes left and cuts it back to the right, slides through a tackle. He's inside of the 10, forced out of bounds at around the 8-yard line. And a nice pickup there for William Clark. And in addition to the nice pickup, the clock will stop with 80 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Running out of bounds. Great point there, Adam, as the clock will stop. Give the Wolverines a chance, gather themselves here, figure out what they want to do as they inch closer and closer to the end zone.
So the initial spot was the 8. They'll spot the ball now at the 7-yard line, where it'll be second down at a very manageable 2 with a line to gain at the 5-yard line. High backfield behind Judson. 2 receivers split to the left, tight end to the right of the formation. As the handoff goes to Clark. Hesitates, then drives, and he's got the first down inside of the 5, brought down towards the 3-yard line. And that's enough for a Woodland Hills first down, and the clock will stop until the ball is set.
Big opportunity here for the Wolverines to get a score right before teams head into the locker room. This would be pretty demoralizing for the Highlanders if the Wolverines can put this in. Certainly would be nowhere out of reach, but it would be a nice touchdown for the Wolverines to get.
Clock winding towards a minute to play here in the second quarter. Woodland Hills up 9-zip. High backfield behind Judson. Tight end left, receiver split to either sideline as the ball is on the right hash. Judson pitches. Running left, Clark. Lowers his shoulders, drives his way towards the goal line. They'll say he's down where? Near the 1. So a pickup of 3 brings up second down and goal at the 1-yard line.
Nice run by Clark there. Could have been caught earlier, but was able to use his speed to get out to the outside a little bit.
We have a timeout by the offense.
Set up the Wolverines well.
Timeout Woody High. We'll step away too. Woodland Hills 9, Baldwin 0. It's the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Bush Brothers Car Care Center in Swissvale has been a Monongahela Avenue institution for over 30 years. Bush Brothers is a full-service mechanic and tire shop for all types of vehicles. Whether you need mechanical work, an alignment, state inspection and emissions testing, new tires, or just an oil change, Bush Brothers is the place for you. Bush Brothers Car Care Center, Monongahela Avenue in Swissvale, or give Martin and Jason a call at 412-351-5342.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
38 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Woodland Hills with the ball, second down and goal at the Baldwin 1-yard line. Woodland Hills on top 9-0 on the Baldwin Highlanders. Woodland Hills will go to the line of scrimmage on the left hash. High backfield behind Judson. One receiver split to either side. Strength to the right with the tight end on that right-hand side and Josh Rawlings. Judson steps under center. Hands off. Clark spins. Then he'll be brought down. Baldwin brought the house there and made the play in the backfield. And a loss of 4 and another timeout on the field.
I saw an opening there.
Timeout by the offense. That is their third and final timeout.
Stoppage on the field. We'll step away too. Woodland Hills on top of Baldwin, 9-zip. It's the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
3rd and goal for Woodland Hills. The ball on the left hash at the 5-yard line of the Baldwin Highlanders. High backfield behind Gavin Judson. Receivers split to either side. Tight end to the right of the formation. Judson off of play action. He's pressured. He's going to dump it off. And no receiver in the vicinity. In fact, Nasir Penn tried to retreat and pick it off, but couldn't get there. And the field goal unit's going to come on for Woodland Hills. And this will be about a 23-yard field goal for Chucky Hanchett with the ball on the left hash.
Would have liked to have seen Judson maybe in the shotgun there, give him a little bit more time. But they were still in on him quick and didn't seem to matter.
The holder, Jaden Lucas. The kicker, Chucky Hanchett. Left hash, 22-yard field goal attempt. High snap, good hold, kick end over end, low but good. And with 20 seconds to play in the second quarter, Woodland Hills has opened up a 12-0 lead on the Baldwin Highlanders. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 3/4 of a century. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Woodland Hills leads Baldwin 12-0 on a 12-yard or 22-yard field goal rather by Chucky Hanchett. Drive set up to the Wolverines. After a nice return by William Clark, set the Wolverines up at the Baldwin 27-yard line. They drove it down inside of the Highlanders 5, actually down to the 1, but the Wolverines were pushed back and the field goal unit had to come on. Still some points, and Woodland Hills has ripped off 12 straight here in quarter number 2 to lead Baldwin 12-0. Chucky Hanchett kicks off. A bouncer will carry all the way down to the 12-yard line where it carries through the hands of Jaron Kelly. He retreats, scoops it up. Flag comes in from a mile away as Kelly is going to be dumped down after crossing the 15 to the 16-yard line. And we'll check in with our referee, John Scurrin, to see what this call is.
Not sure this will have too much of an effect anyway, depending on what Baldwin wants to do here with this 13 seconds. Might try some kind of Hail Mary, or we might just see him run the ball or kneel it.
The ball's going to be at the 16, and if this is against Baldwin, it's going to be
We have a block in the back on the kicking team. It'll be 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
That's not a common thing you see, but still will go against Woody High. And Baldwin will get the ball at the 26 instead of the 16.
Yeah, block in the back on the kicking team, you're right. And do not hear that often. You hear a block in the back, frequently, but not on the kicking team.
Yeah, basically, I think a Highlander turned his back and a Wolverine ran through his back. I don't know that there's any other call that could be made other than the block in the back in that circumstance. 13 seconds to play here as the Highlanders will go to the line of scrimmage, trailing Woodland Hills by 12. And whistles blow as Baldwin takes a timeout. Well, neither team wants to get to the locker room very quickly, so a stoppage on the field, and we'll step away too. Woodland Hills on top of Baldwin here, 12-0. It's the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
13 seconds to play in the second quarter. Woodland Hills on top of Baldwin, 12-zip. The Highlanders with the ball on the right hash at the 26-yard line. And Baldwin will bring an eye backfield to the field with two receivers split to the near side left. Stahl's going to hand off. Ball carrier Loford. He's wrapped and brought down in the backfield by Anthony Meredith. And a flag came in as the play was underway.
Nice adjustment made by the Wolverines defense. They're pulling Mike Coleman, the safety, back, playing center field there just to make sure that they don't get beat deep.
We have holding on the offense. That penalty is declined. Second down.
The clock's going to wind here after the penalty against the Highlanders is declined by Woodland Hills, and that'll be the final play of the second quarter. So Woodland Hills outscores Baldwin 12-0 through the first 24 minutes of action. We are going to step away, and when we return, our halftime coverage will begin. It's the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Wolverine Football is also brought to you by the Triangle Bar and Grill, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, the law offices of Owen Seaman, Bush Brothers Car Care, the Barbers Inn in Swissvale, LG3 Entertainment, Web Landings, A-Boss Opticians, Matthews Auto Service, and the Zubin Dental Associates. Now it's time for the Woodland Hills Football Network Halftime Show.
It's halftime, and Woodland Hills leads Baldwin 12-0. Adam Gusky and Eric Shuley on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Baldwin started the game with the football, punted it to Woody High. The Wolverines took the ball all the way down inside of the Highlanders' 10-yard line to the 9, and then some mistakes pushed Woodland Hills back, and ultimately a fumble gave the ball back to the Baldwin Highlanders. 5 punts in a row before we finally saw some scoring, and the first score of the game was a 3-yard touchdown run by Anthony Meredith that was set up by a 40-yard punt return by Jaden Lucas. The PAT by Chucky Hanchett made it 7-0. On the ensuing drive for the Baldwin Highlanders, they started at their own 21. They were pushed back. The punt was blocked by Christopher Jones. It rolled out of the back of the end zone, and it was 9-0 Woodland Hills. Woodland Hills got the ball back after the free kick, and the Wolverines drove the ball from the Baldwin 27 after a nice return by William Clark down inside of the Highlanders 5 down to the 1, but Woodland Hills was pushed back again, and Chucky Hanchett came on. A 22-yard field goal up and in, and Woodland Hills takes a 12-0 lead into the locker room on the Baldwin Highlanders. Well, a week ago, Eric, we were very happy to see Woodland Hills take a lead into the locker room. A rough third quarter led to a Upper St. Clair victory. And I think Coach Tim Bostard has to maybe talk some different strategy here in the locker room as he did a week ago.
Third quarter will be key, absolutely. Wolverines will get the ball to start the second half. That will be big. Encouraging things have been happening for the offense. They've been able to move the ball well. Weren't able to get into the end zone there, but they got the field goal, got the 3 points. And the defense has been doing a fantastic job, as they did last week. This is a team that scores 40 points a game, so it's nice to see them with a big 0 on the board at the half.
Folks watching or listening live, stay tuned. You'll be able to check out the halftime homecoming ceremony as well as the Baldwin Highlanders marching band. And if you're watching one of our replays or listening to our replay, we'll be back with more of our halftime coverage momentarily. Again, your halftime score, it's Woodland Hills 12 and the Baldwin Highlanders nothing. You're tuned into the Wolverines, the Baldwin Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back at a windy Wolverina where Woodland Hills leads the Baldwin Highlanders 12-0 at halftime. Adam Gusky and Eric Shuley on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Thank you for joining us no matter where you are across the globe as the Woodland Hills Wolverines look for their first victory of the season, and more importantly, it could come within conference play. But Eric, a week ago we saw Woodland Hills lose a halftime lead and end up losing the game to Upper St. Clair 16-14. Woodland Hills has a 12-0 lead at halftime against Baldwin here, and they need to keep the pedal to the metal if they want to win this game.
Yeah, this first opening drive for the Wolverines is key. If they can take this ball down the field, bleed some clock off, get later in the third quarter, and put the ball in the end zone, I think that would be very demoralizing to Baldwin to go down by 3 scores.
Again, Woodland Hills scoring 12 points all in the second quarter, a 3-yard touchdown run by Anthony Meredith, a punt block by Christopher Jones for a safety, and then the field goal of 22 yards by Chucky Hanchett. We're going to step away for a couple of minutes, and when we return, we will get you set for the second half. Again, it's the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the Baldwin Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
ABOS Opticians on Braddock Avenue in Braddock is your one-stop optical shop. With hundreds of the latest frame styles and lenses, the skilled opticians at ABOS will help select and fit the best eyewear option for you. Plus, ABOS Opticians is the best eyewear repair facility in the area. No matter what your eyewear needs are, make ABOS Opticians your opticians. Call ABOS Opticians at 412-271-4424 or visit abosopticians.com.
Dawn and John at Matthews Auto Service have been serving the Turtle Creek Valley for over 40 years. In addition to being a full-service gas station, Matthews offers oil changes, state inspection and emissions testing, new tires, and light mechanical work. Matthews Auto Service, Monroeville Avenue in Turtle Creek, or call them at 412-824-0940.
Thanks for tuning in to the Halftime Show on the Woodland Hills Football Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Woodland Hills Football is presented by State Senator Jay Costa. Wolverine Football is also brought to you by the Triangle Barn Grill, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, the law offices of Owen Seaman, Bush Brothers Car Care, the Barber's Inn in Swissvale, LG3 Entertainment, Web Landings, ABOS Opticians, Matthews Auto Service, and the Zubin Dental Associates. Now it's time for the second half.
A driving rainstorm has started here in Turtle Creek, PA, as Woodland Hills and Baldwin momentarily will start the second half. It's 12-0 Woody High on top of Baldwin, and well, I'll tell you what a change in the weather from when we started. The sun was shining and it was over 80 degrees, and now the temperature's starting to drop. The wind is blowing and the rain is pouring here at the Wolverina, the home of the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Well, it wouldn't be homecoming if it wasn't raining. At least back in my day, I remember it rained on homecoming every single homecoming game.
Keeping the pattern going.
That's for sure. Fans starting to pour out of here, and I can't say I blame them, because I don't think a lot of folks were prepared for the rain. I think they were a little gun shy, thinking, boy, the sun's shining, we're going to come and enjoy ourselves a great football game. Instead, the rain is now starting to come in sideways as we are set to begin half number 2 in just a moment. Well, if you're a football player, this gets you pumped. If you're a fan, it makes you want to get out of here. Good news is we're in the press box.
Absolutely, Adam. We'll see how this will affect the game here. If anything, we're going to see the ball on the ground a lot, I'm sure, especially from the Wolverines. And that will put an emphasis on the line play. If they can win the line of scrimmage, that will be huge for the Wolverines. And the ball security is also major in this situation.
Baldwin will be kicking off to Woodland Hills to begin this second half. Kicking off for the Highlanders is Jackson Brandwine. And now a Highlander is going to have to step in there and hold the ball. A gust of wind just absolutely spiraled rain so hard it blew into the press box. And the second half is underway as Brandwine's kick will carry deep into the end zone for a touchback, so it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills to begin the third quarter.
Probably the safer outcome for the Wolverines there. As we talked about, ball security is going to be key if this rain and the wind continues.
This by far the worst starting field position for Woodland Hills on the day. Prior to this, the Wolverines' worst starting field position was their own 34. So this 14 yards shy of that mark. Judson will step under center with an eye backfield behind him. Receivers split to either side. Handoff. Meredith bouncing right, cutting back to the left, picking up 3 yards to the 23, where he's cut down by Jaron Kelly.
This little run from Meredith there, a couple yards up the middle for the Wolverines. We'll be seeing a lot of this, I'm sure, as the Wolverines already don't like to put the ball in the air, and I don't think they're going to much at all if this continues.
Now, by far the best crowd of the season has thinned out considerably over there on that far sideline after this driving rainstorm started just before the second half. Handoff again to Meredith as he'll lower the shoulder and drive his way across the 25 out to the 26-yard line, where the tackle's made by Tyler Gerchak.
Key third down here early in the second half of the Wolverines. We know that those snaps on punts have been issues, and in great weather they have been problems. So you don't want to think about what could happen with this kind of weather on a punt snap.
So Judson will step under center with an eye backfield behind him. Tight end left, receiver split to either side. Handoff, Meredith cuts left, cuts it back to the right-hand side, and he will pick up 3 yards out to the 28-yard line, and the punt unit's going to come on for Woodland Hills after Woody High goes 3 and out.
Wolverines just unable to get that first down there. Now you just hope that Chucky Hanchett's able to corral the snap and get away some type of a decent punt, and we'll see what's going to happen to that ball in the air here.
Good snap. Hanchett gets it away. There's whistles before the play, though. Now, let's see what this is. Oh, boy. Okay. Now, I couldn't see Hanchett, but what happened was the punt snap was low. When Hanchett cut the punt snap, he had his knee down. And it's going to end up being a turnover on downs for Woodland Hills on that loss of 13 on the punt snap. Taking a look at our Triangle Bar and Grill replay. Right knee down, ball in his hands. Plain as day.
Really, really tough break for the Wolverines, and this is not how you want to start. They had a nightmare third quarter last week, and they do not want to have a replay of that as they give the Baldwin Highlanders a great starting field position.
And a week ago, part of the issue was a punt snap. That, in fact, was the first points of the game for the Baldwin, or for rather the Upper St. Clair Panthers. Next week, Woodland Hills takes on West Allegheny, but we've got a second half of football to deal with here as Baldwin will go to the ground on the first play of the second half and a big run over the left-hand side for the ball carrier, Angelo Priori. And Priori is brought down inside of the 5 at the 2-yard line. Pickup of 13 brings up 1st and goal for Baldwin.
Yeah, Baldwin set up, and they make a great run on first down by Priori, and they are knocking on the door early here. Exactly what the Wolverines did not want to see happen.
Timeout on the field. We're going to step away too. 10:08 to play here in quarter number 3. Woodland Hills on top of the Baldwin Highlanders 12-0, but the Highlanders threaten. Tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Woodland Hills football is brought to you in part by the law offices of Owen Seaman. Owen is a Woodland Hills alumnus who studied law at Duquesne University and has been practicing law in the Pittsburgh area for over 15 years. Attorney Owen Seaman's experience encompasses virtually every facet of criminal defense. If you find yourself in need of criminal defense representation, call Owen at 412-721-0412 or visit owenthelawyer.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
First and goal for Baldwin. The ball at the Woodland Hills 2. Highlanders looking to take advantage of an errant punt snap.
12 guys on the field for Baldwin.
Well, by no surprise here, the official's microphone not functioning in these weather conditions.
Excuse me on that, Adam. Just noticed it, had to jump on it.
No sweat. 12 guys costs them 5 yards, and instead of first and goal at the 2, it's going to be first and goal at the 7. So again, 10:08 to play here in the third quarter. Woodland Hills shutting out Baldwin 12-0. Highlanders break the huddle. Ball on the left hash, as Stahl steps under center with one back behind him in Priori. Priori takes the handoff, bouncing it to the right, has nowhere to go as his pursuit angle was cut off by Jaden Lucas. Then he'll be dumped down by the second wave of Wolverines. In on the tackle, Josh Rawlings. Also in on the stop for Woodland Hills, Antoine Meredith.
Very nice job by the Wolverines there, not letting them get any closer to the end zone. That's what they're going to have to do here. Got to stuff the run.
Gain of 1 brings up second down and goal, ball at the 6-yard line. .9:30 as the clock winds here in the third quarter. Ball in the middle of the field, split backs behind Stahl. He's going to run to the near side left. He has some room to the outside. He's going to be hit before he can turn the corner, and forcing him out of bounds is Michael Coleman to prevent the Baldwin touchdown.
One of the first times we've been able to see Mason Stahl use his legs. Got to see some speed there as he got to the edge. Was able to get a nice little gain there for Baldwin and get him that much closer to the end zone as the ball's placed at the 2-yard line.
Pick up a 4 there before Coleman made the stop. Maybe a generous spot again along this near sideline, as it looked like Stahl was forced down around 3. Brave Woodland Hills fans, as they will stay in the rain, with Woodland Hills leading by 12. Stahl brings the Highlanders to the line of scrimmage with split backs behind him. Third and goal at the 2. Motion man from right to left. Handoff, running to the left. The tailback Priori. He was met in the backfield. Then he drove his way towards the line of scrimmage. He's brought down at the 1-yard line. And the ball came loose. And Woodland Hills thought they had gotten on it, but instead it was covered up by Baldwin. And it'll be Highlanders ball, fourth and goal at the 1.
Wolverines had a chance to get him in the backfield. Looked like 23, Antoine Meredith, almost getting him in the backfield there. Would have been a huge play for the Wolverines, but still kept them out. Now a huge fourth down play.
Big hit there by Jaden Lucas, forced that ball to come loose, but Baldwin was able to cover it up to bring up this fourth and goal at the 1. The Highlanders trail Woodland Hills 12-0. Baldwin to the line of scrimmage. Tight formation. Handoff Priori, trying to bounce it to the right. He's got nowhere to go. Woodland Hills stifles the run, and it's a turnover on downs. First and 10 for Woody High.
An enormous defensive stand there by the Wolverines, not giving an inch there, and the Highlanders still not on the scoreboard, but the Wolverines have to be careful as they will have the ball deep in their own territory, and they have to avoid a safety here. Or worse yet, a fumble.
Big stop there by the Woodland Hills defense. Woodland Hills may have dodged a little bit of that proverbial bullet because Sidney Summers came up and had something to say to Priori after the play was over, but fortunately the officials allowed cooler heads to prevail and no penalty against Woodland Hills, which just would have been half the distance to the goal anyway. High backfield behind Judson. He's going to hand off, and the tailback is met as he just got out of the end zone before being shoved back. And a slow developing play there would have been very, very tough for Woodland Hills. And Baldwin was convinced they got the safety, but clearly the ball carrier had gotten out of the end zone before being driven back. That's the good news. The bad news is now it's second and 12 with the ball just outside of the goal line.
Yeah, they didn't look at the officials there to get the confirmation, and they said the ball came out, giving some forward progress there, but still tough situation for the Wolverines here.
So Judson will step under center. Second down and 12 with the ball at the 1 yard line. Hand off. And the ball carrier this time, William Clark, will shove his way across the line of scrimmage and pick up a couple of yards out towards the 3 yard line, bringing up third down and 10.
Little tiny bit more breathing room there for the Wolverines, and this is another key play, another key third down for the Wolverines.
How about the upper body strength there by Savon Givner? He just tossed a Baldwin Highlander who had came in and got a crease around him. He just shoved him to the ground, and that allowed Clark to slide through and pick up a couple of yards. 3rd and 10 as the handoff goes to Clark, and he'll shove his way forward out towards the 5 for a gain of 2, and that'll bring up 4th down and 8, and the Wolverine is shaken up.
Now the Wolverines backed up. Another tough punting situation here.
I think it was the center, Angelo Hodge, who was shaken up, but he is headed to the sideline, and I'm mistaken. It was DeJuan Howells who was the injured party who was able to limp to the far boundary. Good snap. Good punt by Hanchett. A knuckler takes a bounce in favor of the Wolverines. It'll be returned out near the 43-yard line as Jaron Kelly slides through the first wave of Wolverines. The ball came loose. Woodland Hills recovers. Will the officials give it to Woody High? We still have no signal. I mean, everybody on the Woodland Hills sideline saw the ball come loose and Woodland Hills grab hold of it.
I'm not sure what the question here is, Adam.
And there's a penalty against Woodland Hills prior to the snap.
Oh, and that is awful for the Wolverines. A great snap and a great punt. Now it's all going to be wiped away, and they're going to have to do it again even further back closer to their end zone. We'll see why that wasn't blown dead. It must have been a false start.
So it was a formational penalty against Woodland Hills. I was able to read our referee's lips.
Didn't see a flag come down. It must have come in a blind spot here.
Now the ball had clearly come loose, and that would have been Woodland Hills' ball, but instead the formational penalty against Woodland Hills forces them to re-kick as the ball will be placed half the distance from the 3 to about, or rather from the 5 to about the 2.5, where the ball will be snapped.
Just a huge break there for the Baldwin Highlanders.
And Woodland Hills has got to hope that another good snap and a decent punt by Hanchett gets away. This one a low snap. Hanchett does get it away, but it's a knuckler, a dribbler. It'll carry out across the 25 to the 26, and it will be downed by Woodland Hills at that point. The rain had let up. Now it starts to pour again with 6:18 to play in the third quarter. Woodland Hills up by 12.
Wolverines defense has to come up with a big turnover here. The special teams got the turnover, but it was wiped away by the formational penalty. So now Baldwin has the ball in great field position, but the defense, after that great stand, has to do it again and hopefully this time get a turnover.
Talked about field position and how it went in the first half for Woodland Hills. Well, here in the second half for Baldwin, it's been a similar story that the Wolverines had in the first half. Baldwin started their first drive at the Woodland Hills 15, came up empty. This drive for the Highlanders starts at the Woodland Hills 27 with 6:18 to play in the third quarter. Motion man from right to left, eye backfield behind Stahl. Snap is fumbled. It's scooped up by the fullback. Zachary Pettit, and he is brought down at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Now a little break there for Baldwin as that ball stayed right there where Pettit was able to get it. Could have ended in a disaster for Baldwin, but luckily he's right there. The ball doesn't take any crazy bounces, and they're able to keep the ball. Now second down and 10.
Clock winding, 5:45 here in the third quarter. Woodland Hills up a dozen. Two receivers to the wide side left. One back set behind Stahl. That's Angelo Priori. Priori off of play action. Now it's Stahl looking to the left-hand side, and the pass is in and out of the hands of Zachary Pettit.
There's that rain. Although Pettit looked like he took a weird attempt at catching that ball. He maybe took his eye off it as well, but I'm sure the dampness had a big part to do with that.
And on that specific play, the first thing I heard in my head was my late father say, "Take the gloves off." And immediately after the play was over, that's what Pettit started to do.
You're right. He looked right at him. They can be very advantageous for players, but then in situations like that, come back and bite you.
So now it's 3rd and 10 for the Highlanders with the ball at the Woodland Hills 27-yard line. Stahl is in the shotgun with a sidecar to his right. Stahl rolling right, dumping it off, and the pass is complete at the 23-yard line. On the reception, Connor Lavelle, but that is well shy of the first down flag. A gain of just about 4 brings up 4th down and 6.
Yeah, it looks like a obvious go-for-it situation here, as Baldwin will have a huge 4th down attempt. Wolverine's defense got to come up big, make the play.
So it's 4th and 6 for Baldwin. The ball at the 28. Again, next week, Woodland Hills takes on West A, and we'll have the coverage for you right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. As Eric Shuley will take over play-by-play duties. And hopefully Rick McIntyre will rejoin our broadcast next week. And a timeout is taken just before the flag is thrown for delay of game. So timeout on the field. We'll step away to 4:38 to play third quarter. Woodland Hills on top of the Baldwin Highlanders, 12-zip. It's the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
There are a few things that guys like more than a great haircut at a real barbershop. And at the Barbers Inn on Washington Avenue in Swissvale, you'll find both. Plus, you can relax in style on supple leather sofas while watching their big screen HD TV. You can even shoot some pool while you wait. But most importantly, you'll walk out the door with a haircut or shave that you're sure to love. Walk-ins are always welcome at the Barbers Inn. For more information, call 412-271-7434. And remember, real men come to the Barbers Inn.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Timeout by Baldwin thwarts a delay of game penalty against the visiting Highlanders. It's 12-0 Woodland Hills on top of Baldwin. 4th and 6 for Baldwin with the ball at the Woodland Hills 23-yard line. Woodland Hills at the bottom of the conference, looking for their first conference win of the season. Up on Baldwin by 12 right now. Stahl in the shotgun. Sidecar to his left. Stahl's going to run to his left. Steps up, throws, and the pass is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Jaron Kelly. And that's another turnover on downs as Michael Roman came out there to make sure the ball came loose. Smartly, number one, he made sure the ball came loose. Smartly, number two, he didn't put such a hit after the drop pass to knock Kelly down to the floor and maybe lead to a potential penalty. And that was not Roman, that was Jay Smith.
Yeah, I threw you off. Michael Roman actually down on the play as he was threatening to blitz. He came off and looked like he did something to his leg, and that is not something you want to see if you're a Wolverines fan.
That's for sure. Well, the good news is that he looks like he's going to get to his feet pretty quickly. The bad news is he can't put a whole heck of a lot of weight on that left leg.
He is a staple on the Wolverines defense, and that is not something that Woodland Hills fans want to see moving forward. Hopefully, it is nothing too serious, but it does not look good at the moment.
So after the turnover on downs, it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. So Woodland Hills started with the ball at their own 20. They turned the ball over on downs because a low punt snap forced Chucky Hanchett to his knee. Get back to that in a moment as the ball carrier this time is Will Clark, far sideline. There he goes. Midfield to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown, William Clark.
There is a flag on the field, Adam. Just as you would suspect, another Wolverine touchdown is going to be called back.
And I have no clue why any Wolverine in any capacity would touch anybody where that flag was thrown. William Clark was gonzo long before that contact needed to happen at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, not quite sure why they would touch any Baldwin Highlanders. You're right, Adam. He had him beat by far. Wasn't even close. And this is really going to hurt the Wolverines as they would have taken a big 3-score lead. Instead, still a nice run, but not 6.
Getting back to recapping this third quarter thus far, Woodland Hills started the third quarter with the ball, turned it over on downs as Chucky Hanchett took a knee on a punt snap. On the ensuing drive, Baldwin wasn't able to get the ball into the end zone as the Wolverines forced a turnover on downs at the Woodland Hills 3. Woodland Hills then punted. Baldwin turned it over on downs again. That's where we start this drive for Woodland Hills.
Another enormous break for the Highlanders here in the second half. The Wolverines, though, have to look right past it and put the ball in the end zone anyway.
And the snap falls out of the hands of Gavin Judson, and he falls down on top of it. Loss of 1 brings up 2nd down and 11, as the football will now sit at the 42-yard line. They'll say there was actually no loss on the play as Judson actually leaned forward to fall on top of that ball.
Going to see that happen in this type of weather, but Judson, a nice job. Make sure he jumped on the ball there and not cost the Wolverines.
Judson this time hands off. Hesitation, then driving forward is Meredith, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage no further. Now, initially they had spotted the ball at the 42 after the first down fumble by Judson. They moved it back to the 43, and that's where they're going to spot this ball as well at the 43, bringing up 3rd down and 11.
3rd and long here for the Wolverines. I would suspect they're not going to do anything crazy. Really like to see them maybe on a quick slant here with Jaden Lucas or something. He's got so much open area there, but I think they're going to keep it on the ground.
And whistles below as Woodland Hills may be guilty of a pre-snap penalty here, and they are. It's a false start against Woody High. And if you can say a pre-snap penalty is good news, it probably is in that circumstance only because it was another fumbled snap between Judson and the Wolverine center, Angelo Hodge. So it's 3rd and 16 for Woody High with the ball at the 48. High backfield behind Judson. Rain picks up again. Handoff. Clark running right. Looking to turn the corner. Will do so. Then he's driven down and driven back. Tackle on the play by Christopher Robbins. And big open field tackle there by Christopher Robbins. Brings the punt unit on for Woody High.
Yeah, it's really a shame, Adam, after that great run by Will Clark, and that would have totally changed the game, putting them up 3 scores coming to the end of the 3rd quarter here. But instead, at least this may swap the field position, and hopefully, if Chucky Hanchett's able to take the snap and get a good kick away on the punt, they could pin him back.
Reversing field position would be a victory at this point, considering the way the field position battle has gone here in quarter number 3. Great snap, nice punt by Hanchett. Going to bounce and have just enough oomph in it to carry across the goal line. It'll be a touchback, a net of only 26 yards, but still really does flip that field and put the Highlanders on their heels at the 20.
Hopefully the Woodland Hills defense can come through again. We'll see how they deal without star linebacker Michael Roman.
Elsewhere in 5A, Gateway leads the Big East Conference. Franklin Regional nipping at their heels, undefeated overall and in conference. McKeesport's 2-1. Penn Trafford's also 2-1 within the Big East. Connellsville 1-2. Latrobe, Albert Gallatin, and Plum all with no wins in conference yet. Good news for Woodland Hills fans. Michael Roman back on the field. Boy, he was really shaken up. Carried off to the sideline and is back in the game for Woody High.
He is tough, Adam.
Twins to either side as Stahl's going to keep it himself, running to the left. Has some greenery in front of him. Now he's dumped down as he crosses the 35 out to the 36-yard line. And an infraction against Woodland Hills after the snap.
Hey, that's a tough play there because Jaron Kelly had a hold of Jaden Lucas far after the play. And he was actually the one who committed the personal foul. But the retaliation by Jaden Lucas, that's what they get.
And again, it's Roman shaken up.
Actually, looks like Michael Coleman might be shaken up too. He's holding his wrist or something. That's awful for the Wolverines. Two of your best players on defense down right now.
Yeah, Roman out here at the 35, and Coleman shaken up out near midfield. And the penalty against Woodland Hills is the personal foul, so that's going to tack on 15 yards to the end of this play once the injury circumstance is righted here.
As I said, Jaron Kelly was the one, looked like he started that. But if you're Jaden Lucas, you have to keep your cool. You could not give up free yardage in a situation like this where it is tough to go all the way down the field in these kind of conditions. You just give up 15 yards like it's nothing. You see Jaron Kelly come in there, keep driving. Clearly he's the one who starts it, but then Jaden Lucas retaliates, and he should never have done that.
And I'll tell you what, Jaden Lucas brought his left hand up towards the face mask, never really followed through. Earlier this week, the Emmys were on TV. Well, Jaron Kelly is going to get a sports Emmy there
that's
for
right.
that acting job.
The way he went down there, obviously Jaden Lucas should never have gone up to the face mask like that, but a little nice acting job by Kelly to draw the penalty for sure.
An embellishment, to say the least. That's a circumstance maybe like if you're watching hockey or something where there is a penalty called against the team who does commit the penalty, but however, there's also an offsetting penalty for the embellishment.
Yeah, Wolverine fans would have loved that there because it certainly was an acting job by Kelly.
And a hand to the face, but then the big flop, the LeBron flop.
I was going to say LeBron James.
Play action as the quarterback Stahl runs to his right-hand side, slides through one tackler, can't escape the second one as the tackle is made by Devine Clark. But a 9-yard gain for Baldwin, and they have the ball second down and 9, just inside of the 40.
Wolverine's having a lot of trouble controlling Stahl on the ground. He's very good with his legs, and they have to stop this.
Clock winding, inside of 90 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Woodland Hills still up 12-0 on the Baldwin Highlanders. Twins to either side, sidecar to the left of Stahl. Stahl delay handoff. Ball carrier is Priori, and Priori is going to get back to the line of scrimmage before being driven down. No gain, and that'll bring up third down and about 2. Maybe even a short loss on that play.
Looks like some more extracurriculars there. I saw Baldwin, Harry DiPietro, lineman there after the play. A little shoving match with the Wolverine, but no call on either side.
Josh Rawlings with the tackle for Woodland Hills on that previous play, bringing up this third down and 2 with 45 seconds to play here in quarter number 3. Woodland Hills up a dozen. Twins to either side. Sidecar to the left of Stahl. Stahl's going to run to his left-hand side. He's going to slide through a gap. He's got the first down before he's shoved to the turf. Host of Wolverines there leading the charge. Devine Clark again for Woodland Hills.
Key first down pickup there for Baldwin, although I think they would have gone for it anyway had he been short. Going to the hurry up here. No huddle for Baldwin.
Clock winds to 30 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Trips right, one receiver left. Handoff this time, Pettit, and Pettit slides free, picking up about 8 yards inside of the 30 to the 29-yard line.
Nice tackle by Devine Clark there, not letting him get anything more than he did get, although it was a nice chunk of yardage there.
No huddle now for the Highlanders. Clock winding to 5 seconds to go here in quarter number 3. Final play of the quarter, as Pettit, the ball carrier, will be wrapped after taking the handoff, and he'll pick up about 1.5 yards before Josh Rawlings makes the tackle for Woodland Hills, and that'll be the final play of the third quarter. We head to the fourth frame. Woodland Hills on top, 12-zip. It's the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Baldwin starting this drive at their own 20-yard line with just a few minutes remaining in the third quarter. They finish off the third quarter, but not able to get on the scoreboard yet are the Highlanders, but they do have the football at the Woodland Hills 28-yard line, 3rd down and 1. Now, we've seen the Woodland Hills defense here in the second half stand strong. Can they do it again on this drive?
They're going to have to, Adam. This is huge.
Back down to the field we go, where it's 3rd down and 1 for the Baldwin Highlanders. Trips to the right, one receiver to the far boundary left. Sidecar is Pettit. Pettit takes the handoff, gets to the line of scrimmage. He's driven down to the turf. Maybe enough for the first down. The official on the far sideline says it's 4th down. Not enough for that first, and it's 4th and inches. And we saw a similar circumstance on the previous drive, or a couple of drives ago, rather, where Baldwin had the ball down inside of the Woodland Hills 5-yard line and came up empty.
Very nice play by the Wolverines to stuff that run, and they're going to have to do it again because I have a feeling that's what's coming.
Baldwin to the line of scrimmage, 4th and inches. 2 receivers right, 2 to the left. Snap slipped through the hands of the quarterback. Stole. Woodland Hills says they have the football. A mass of humanity. Woodland Hills comes out of the pile with it. It'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills on the takeaway.
Very nice job there. Looked like a bad snap, bad exchange there for Baldwin. Stahl was unable to get it, and I don't think that was going to be a first down anyway, but nonetheless, ball back in the hands of the Wolverines offense, and hopefully they can put together a nice clock-draining drive here.
And strength by a Wolverine down at the bottom of the pile to make sure he held on to that football, as there was a Highlander trying to rip it away from him after the ball had come loose from Stahl. So Baldwin again comes up empty after threatening against the Wolverines. And Woodland Hills goes to the ground again here early in the fourth quarter as Anthony Meredith, the ball carrier, brought down 1 yard shy of the line of scrimmage.
Just really hope the Wolverines are able to break one of these. Linemen all get their blocks and it all comes together perfectly. That would be huge for the Wolverines.
This drive for the Woodland Hills Wolverines starts at their own 28-yard line. Clock under 11 minutes to play now in quarter number 4. One receiver to either side, tight end to the right, ball in the middle of the field. Judson lost the snap. It's still loose. It's still loose and out near the 35-yard line. It'll be covered up by a Baldwin Highlander. Fumble recovered by Baldwin's Jaron Kelly at the 35. And the fumble by Woodland Hills costs them a possession.
Yeah, just that ball security again. Bad exchange. Judson unable to pull it in. And the Wolverines suffer. And Chris Jones looks like he is down on the field. Another more bad news for the Wolverines.
Christopher Jones being tended to as he is shaken up. Head coach Tim Bossert out there to check on him. Appears to be a neck injury or an upper back injury.
We have a moment here, Adam. I'd like to mention since 2001, the Wolverines are 13-1 against Baldwin. They have had their fair share of dominance in this series. As you mentioned last year, that 40-6 win, and haven't lost to the Highlanders since 2007 when they lost right here at the Wolverine at 14-7.
That was 11 seasons ago.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a long time ago.
Also the same year the Wolverines started 0-4 like this year.
didn't think Woodland Hills had ever started 0-4. They did that year. Still made the playoffs.
They still did. That's right. There's always hope.
Stahl takes the shotgun snap, then takes off running up the middle, lost the football. Woodland Hills covers it up. So 3 straight fumbles by quarterbacks. This one gives Woodland Hills the ball back at the 29-yard line. Another takeaway by Woody High.
Yes, again, the ball security has just been a factor the whole game. Another fumble. This time Woodland Hills gets the ball back. And like we were saying before, hopefully now they're able to put together that drive. Hold on to the ball, get the running game going a little bit, drain the clock, and get out of this wet mess right now.
Howells with the fumble recovery, and Woodland Hills will start this drive at their own 29-yard line. So Woodland Hills ends up picking up a yard, ultimately after back-to-back fumbles. And the handoff goes up the gut, and Wolverine drives his way for a gain of 1 to the 30 before being pushed to the turf. William Clark, the ball carrier on that play.
I think the Baldwin Highlanders would be shocked if the Wolverines went to the air, which I think would be very interesting to see, because his single coverage out here with Davion Rochelle against Nazir Penn, he's got a nice height advantage and he is very athletic. Although now it's going to be, looks like Jay Smith over here on the near side against Penn.
Handoff, Clark bouncing it to the left-hand side across the 30 to the 35 to the 40 to the 45, where he's shouldered out of bounds. Credit the tackle to Connor Lavelle, but not before Woodland Hills picks up a first down, covering 19 yards from the 30 out to the 49.
Big run by William Clark there, exactly what you wanted to see. He is tough to get in the backfield. When you think you have him, you stack the box, think you can keep him back and down. He breaks out, shows some speed, shows some power, and a big run out to just about midfield for the Wolverines. Sets them up with a nice 1st and 10, their own 49.
High backfield behind Judson as the ball is on the left hash. 2 receivers to the far boundary right. Fumbled snap. Judson will cover it up. Loss of 1 on the play brings up 2nd down and 11.
Very nice job by Judson there. Making sure he was able to get back on that. No disaster there.
Baldwin thought they got the ball from Judson, but it looked like Judson had covered it up, and then it was pulled away from Judson long after the play had ended. That brings up 2nd down and 11 with the ball at the 48. Judson steps under center. Another fumbled snap. And Woodland Hills can't get a clean snap going here. This is a circumstance where a wet towel isn't going to do the umpire a heck of a lot of good.
Exactly, may even make it worse. You never know.
Clock winding, 8 minutes, 40 seconds to play in regulation. Woodland Hills up by 12, 12-0. 3rd and 12 for Woodland Hills at their own 47. Judson steps under center. Handoff, Clark running left. Slides through a tackler. There he goes, 40 to the 35, to the 30, to the 25, still on his feet, to the 20 as a flag comes in, and he will finally be stood up at the 29-yard line. There's a flag back by the line of scrimmage and a flag down the field.
Could see offsetting here, Adam. It looked like that might have been a face mask there at the end as they were trying to rip that ball free from William Clark, but almost certainly going to be a hold back here on the Wolverines.
The officials are going to iron this out, and in all likelihood it's going to offset, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 12 again. Holding against Woodland Hills. And a personal foul face mask against the Baldwin Highlanders. As Penny's is offset, like we said, and it's 3rd down with the ball at the 47-yard line as the rain picks up again.
Got a feel for William Clark there. Another big run, called back for a hold again on the Wolverines, and just tough. Really. There it is right there. Looks like DeJuan Howells with the hold, and just a shame that they can't hold back.
Yeah, got his arms on the outside, and that cost Woodland Hills a big gainer, and it would have been more with the flag on the end. Again, the handoff to Clark, hesitating, running left. Turns the corner, 50, 40. He's got the 1st down and more as the flag comes in well behind the play.
And again, if this is going to cost Wolverines again, it's just unbelievable how many opportunities the Highlanders are getting on second chances after these long runs by Will Clark. I don't even know how that could be a hold. I didn't see any Wolverines around. It came in so late at the end of the play.
So it'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Now, the spot of the foul is the 42-yard line, so it'll move back to the 48. Ultimately, a gain of 1 brings up third down this time and 11. Now, as the play moves on inside of Highlanders territory, that's when the flag comes in. Now, we can't really see anything from that close-up angle on William Clark to really determine was there anything that was a legitimate hold in that circumstance. So now it's 3rd and 11 with the ball at the 48. Judson under center. He's going to hand off. Meredith running left. Slides through a hole, gets out to the 49, maybe the 50-yard line as another flag comes in.
Wouldn't be surprised if this is another hold on the Wolverines, and these refs are really flag happy tonight, especially with the hold on the Wolverines.
And this is a similar circumstance to what we saw last week in the second half. Just penalty after penalty after penalty against Woodland Hills in half number 2. Now, in all likelihood, we're going to be able to see a little bit more on this particular play if there was a legit hold against the Wolverines or not. Now, Baldwin obviously going to decline this penalty and take just the 1-yard gain in the 4th down. And I see absolutely nothing that warrants a holding penalty there.
I agree, Adam. You maybe could get DeJuan Howes there, but I don't understand. I really don't.
Chucky Hanchett gets away a decent punt that takes a roll in favor of the Wolverines inside of the 20 to around the 19-yard line, where it'll be downed by Woodland Hills. Jaden Edmonds downs that one. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Woody High, or rather for Baldwin, back at their own 19-yard line. So not a bad kick there for Hanchett. Turns the field position around again. But, boy, you got to feel for William Clark after he has certainly seen his share of long runs thwarted by penalties today.
Just something that's hard because there's so much holding going on during these games. And, you know, it's always said, it's a cliche thing to say that there's holding on every play, but it's very close to the truth, if not the truth, and it's just tough to see it happen like that for the Wolverines.
Woodland Hills at West Ain next week, and we'll have the coverage for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network, live streamed, both audio and video on our website. High snap, but the handoff is into the hands of the running back, Priori, and Priori is out across the 35 to the 36-yard line before the tackle was made by a Wolverine at the 36.
Big run there for Baldwin. That's a great way to start their drive, but of course there was no holding there, which looked like Mike Roman might have been getting held there, but no call on Baldwin.
And there definitely Jay Smith was being held at the end of the play. And now we'll see the ball punched loose hard as Mason Stahl was running to the near sideline. He tried to stiff arm one Wolverine, and the second Wolverine to get in there, Anthony Meredith, just slammed that ball loose.
Very nice play by Meredith, and the ball went backwards, so we'll see where this ball is spotted.
We'll say at the 32, so it's a loss of 4, bringing up 2nd down and 14.
Actually looked like Stahl was almost guilty of grabbing a face mask there as he went for the stiff arm. Looked clean, though.
7:34 to play, 4th quarter. Woodland Hills up 12. Stahl looking right the whole way, throwing down this near sideline, and a flag's going to come in for I don't know what other than Nasir Penn getting tripped up by the wet turf.
I have no idea, Adam, what that could possibly be. It's probably going to be pass interference, but I don't know how because he had separation from Jay Smith, and it's just getting a little ridiculous now with the calls on the Wolverines.
Pass interference against Woodland Hills. 15-yard penalty is going to cost them 1st down as the ball is going to be moved out to the 47-yard line.
Not quite sure how that was pass interference.
Look at the separation between
exactly.
the receiver and the defensive back.
What impeded him from getting separation? He got the separation, so I don't see how there possibly could have been pass interference.
He slipped on wet turf.
Exactly.
That's what broke his stride. Twins left, one receiver to the near side right. Priori, the ball carrier, running left, and he's going to be dumped to the turf. Sidney Summers and Anthony Meredith on the tackle with authority, and it'll be a 2-yard loss, and that'll bring up 2nd down and a dozen.
Great job by the Wolverines. Nice penetration there by Summers and company for the Wolverines. Not letting Prairie get anywhere.
2nd and 12, just under 7 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Woodland Hills up 12-0. Clock starting to work in favor of Woodland Hills here as we're nearing the midway point of the final quarter of regulation. Twins to either side as Stahl's in the shotgun, delay handoff. Priori running it up the middle, then going over to his right-hand side, driving his way forward out to the 49 before he's brought down by Sidney Summers. Gain of about 2 out to that 49. Making it a gain of 4 out to the 49, making a 3rd and 8.
Excuse me, Adam. Mason Stahl's done a great job tonight of making sure he gathers these high snaps. There have been a lot of them on shotguns.
Again, a shotgun. 3rd down and 8. Straight drop back. Stahl's pressured. He's going to step forward. He's going to slide past the Woodland Hills tackler. He's got the 1st down and more inside of the Woodland Hills 40 to the 37-yard line. A pickup on that play of 14 yards.
That was exactly what Baldwin needed, and a tough break for the Wolverines as they had penetration, but they were unable to catch him in the backfield. And now we go to the hurry-up again for Baldwin.
Under 6 minutes to go here as Mason Stahl's going to run the football, and he's going to get brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Michael Roman came in there and made the stop at the line of scrimmage. It was cleaned up by defensive end Anthony Collins as well. And Michael Roman is slow to get to his feet, and another injury timeout.
Michael Roman dealing with some leg issues often in this fourth quarter, and now under 6 minutes at 5:35 left. It just feels like this clock is taking forever. The rest of the game went pretty quickly with all the running, but now we're just feels like we're moving through moving in quicksand.
Well, Roman helped to his feet by Wayne Anderson, one of the Wolverines' assistant coaches, and to the sideline goes Roman, favoring a shoulder there. And off to the sideline he will go.
Getting reports of some games in the Whippy Autumn that are being delayed from lightning. So the Wolverines and Highlanders fortunate that they have not had to deal with a delay. You don't want the jinx, huh? Right when I say that, we'll see the big flash.
2nd down and 10 for the Baldwin Highlanders. The football at the Woodland Hills 37-yard line. Just over 5 minutes to play here. Woodland Hills up by 12. Trips right, one receiver to the far side left. Mason Stahl in the shotgun. He's going to take off running. He's got some room. He's hit as he approaches the 30-yard line. Finally dragged down inside of the 30 at the 28-yard line. Pick up on that play of about 8 or 9 yards. Brings up 3rd down and a very manageable, they'll say 3 or maybe 2, where they'll spot this ball at the 19, or rather the 29-yard line.
Another injury timeout that stops the clock for Baldwin.
Checking out the left knee of Connor Lavelle, Baldwin receiver. Talked about Woodland Hills on the road next week. They take on the West Allegheny Indians, and then they'll be back here 2 weeks from tonight, taking on the Kiski Cavaliers in a non-conference matchup. First time Woodland Hills will see Kiski in quite some time. Speaking of teams Woodland Hills hasn't seen in a long time, the Seneca Valley Raiders are on the Woodland Hills schedule, as Woodland Hills will travel to Seneca Valley coming up on October 12th, the road game against that 6A club from Cranberry, PA. Then Woodland Hills wraps up the regular season at Moon, and then at home against the Char Valley Colts. 3rd and 1, the ball at the 28-yard line. The line to gain is the 27. Mason Stahl in the shotgun, looking right, throwing right, has a receiver wide open at the goal line. And oh my goodness, what great closing speed there by Woodland Hills defensive back Tavian Brooks. He forced the ball away from receiver Jaron Kelly, who had it dead to rights in his hands at the goal line, and it was just punch free by Tavian Brooks.
Great play by Tavian Brooks. It looked like it was a for sure touchdown, but coming in, knocking the ball loose, and a great play is a big break for the Wolverines. Not a flag or anything chippy. A great play to knock that ball loose as he did not have possession, came free, and it'll be 4th and 1.
4th down and 1 for the Baldwin Highlanders. The ball at the Woodland Hills 28. The line to gain is the 27. Trips to the left of the formation. One receiver to the near side right. Mason Stahl in the shotgun. Delay handoff Priori. Turnover on downs. Sidney Summers makes the play in the backfield, and it's 1st and 10 for Woody High.
Huge play for the Wolverines. Getting Mason, and now there's some extracurriculars, and that'll probably cost the Wolverines, but it's after the play. I imagine they'll only call it on the Wolverines, and they won't call it on Baldwin, even though they were both guilty of that.
Now, what happened here near the line of scrimmage, I think the officials decided let that go. It was going back and forth. Now, I don't know what happened between Nasir Penn and one of the Woodland Hills defensive backs back near the 23 or 28-yard line, rather. So we'll check with the officials there. It looks like they're saying it's against both teams. That's decent news.
Right, that's the right thing to do. They were both John. They were both going at it. No reason to call one team's there. Both guilty of it. But it was after the play, the important things.
Dead ball on sportsmanlike conduct against Woodland Hills. Dead ball on sportsmanlike conduct against Baldwin. So the turnover on downs stands, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills with the football at the 33-yard line. Below us, Baldwin fans not happy with the officiating. I guess they're watching a different game than the Woodland Hills fans are.
That's right.
Because every in-play penalty thus far here in the second half has gone in favor of Baldwin or against Woodland Hills.
Right, there have been some big runs taken away from the Wolverines. If you're Baldwin, you have no reason to be upset, and if you are, you're not watching the same game. You're right, Adam. They've gotten a lot of breaks. If not for calling that William Clark touchdown back, this game would have been over a long time ago.
Turnover on downs number 3 here in the second half against the Baldwin Highlanders.
Now the Wolverines just have to be careful with the ball.
Handoff for the Wolverines, and he's got nowhere to go. The ball carrier, Anthony Meredith, is brought down a yard shy of the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 11 as the clock winds to 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go.
Looks like DeJuan Howes or Angelo Hodge, I can't tell if it's 50 or 60, is down for the Wolverines. Looks like probably DeJuan Howes, actually. Not good, because he is a key player on both lines for the Wolverines.
Well, there's a fan below us who is insistent that the pass to Jaron Kelly on the offensive possession was a touchdown. Well, he's mistaken, because Jaron Kelly never had possession of the football, and then it was just absolutely punch-free by Tavian Brooks.
That's exactly right. He only got one look at it, and we've had several. And he should stop his John, because like we said, William Clark got that touchdown called away, a couple long runs taken away by holdings. It's just a shame to hear that from parents. But
well, the issue is here, Eric, that there's about 7 fans in the stadium remaining after a absolute torrential downpour started just before the second half began, and the fans that did stay have certainly become more and more vocal, especially here on the near sideline, as the Baldwin fans have become more and more agitated with their team not being able to get anything going offensively, and every time that they do get something going, the Woodland Hills defense stands strong.
Exactly, Adam. The defense has come through huge for the Wolverines multiple times in this game, and to play through this rain especially, there have been a number of miscommunications for the Wolverines and exchange problems, but Gavin Judson stayed poised and got through it.
Yeah, and at one point there were back-to-back fumbles on quarterback-center exchanges. 2 by Baldwin, 1 by Woodland Hills. Fortunately for Woodland Hills, it didn't cost them anything, and for Baldwin, they weren't able to take advantage. Ball carrier for Woodland Hills, nowhere to go as he's met crossing the 30-yard line and then driven back. Anthony Meredith had nowhere to go there as the Highlanders were in the backfield, and the tackle made by Zachary Pettit. Loss on that play of 3 yards brings up 3rd down now and 14.
They're getting a ton of penetration through the line. It's almost unbelievable how fast they're through there without jumping into the neutral zone early.
3 minutes, 23 seconds to go. Anthony Meredith, the ball carrier, gets to the 30, and then he's driven down and driven back and thrown down, and they'll say he gets back to the 30-yard line and no further. A flag is down over here on the near sideline.
That time it really looked like Noah Bartik, the defensive lineman for the Baldwin Highlanders, was into the neutral zone early, or else he just really did a great job of reading that snap. But there's no call, apparently.
Now, there was something against Woodland Hills, apparently, and it's declined by Baldwin.
Ah, okay.
Now, it's a false start against Woodland Hills. It may have been a receiver along this near sideline that we didn't see, which is a good possibility. Eric, I'll just tell you what, that was just Noah Bartik with an absolute great jump on the football.
After a second look, you're right, yeah.
He did not breach the neutral zone prior to the snap by any stretch of the imagination. Well, Baldwin, instead of declining the false start, because it's not a real play if it is a false start, Woodland Hills is going to be backed up, and Tim Bossard's going to take a timeout with 3:06 to play, and we'll step away too. Woodland Hills 12, Baldwin 0. It's the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 3/4 of a century. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
3rd down and 18. The ball at the 25-yard line. The line to gain is the 43-yard line. Woodland Hills with the ball at their own 25. Gavin Judson under center. Delay handoff. Meredith running left, cutting it back to the right-hand side, driving his way out towards the 30. They'll say he's down at the 28. Now the punt unit's going to come on with under 3 minutes to play.
Clock's huge here, and the snap is also huge. Wolverines need to get a clean snap and a clean punt away. Hopefully Hanchett able to get off a good one, and hopefully the special teams men do their job. Take them down quick.
Clock winding, 2:35 to go. Good snap to Hanchett, end over end kick by Chucky. Takes a big Woodland Hills bounce inside of the 25 to the 20, where it'll finally roll dead at the 19-yard line, and a huge turn in field position on a great punt by Chucky Hanchett.
Exactly what the Wolverines needed, Adam. Just a great job by Hanchett, and a nice snap too for the Wolverines. Probably maybe the best of the year, I would say. And Hanchett gets off a beauty and a huge bounce.
And that roll really in favor of Woodland Hills. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Highlanders, the ball at their own 19. 2:24 to play here in the 4th quarter. Highlanders to the line of scrimmage, where it'll be 1st and 10. Mason Stahl, the QB, in the shotgun. Priori to his left-hand side, trips to the left of the formation. Stahl play action. Straight drop back, he's pressured. He rolls to his right-hand side. He lost the football as he tucked. The ball is still loose. Does the Highlander fall on it around the 21-yard line? He will. It'll be 2nd down.
Oh, just a huge opportunity there for the Wolverines to maybe put this game away if they're able to get that fumble recovery. It just bounces the Baldwin way. Still now approaching 2 minutes, now at 2 minutes. Clock rolling.
Stahl just couldn't hang on to the football as he was carrying it like a loaf of bread, and that loose hand there, and then it was finally covered up by offensive lineman Mason Berquin. Twins to either side. As Stahl throws it down the near sideline, and the pass intended for Andres Howell is incomplete. And that incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 8.
Jaden Lucas coming over from the safety position. Jay Smith with great coverage. Wolverines were all over that one. Unable to connect was Mason Stahl.
Yeah. And I think maybe a little bit of an alligator arm there by Howell, because he saw Lucas coming from left to right towards him, plus Smith was in his hip pocket. So Stahl now in the shotgun on 3rd down and 8 with the clock stopped, 98 seconds to go. Throw across the middle, bobbled catch by Jaron Kelly, and Kelly carries the ball out across the 35 to the 37-yard line, where he's wrapped and brought down. A secondary hit by a Wolverine, bent his back backwards before Kelly was slapped down to the turf.
Nice hit by Jay Lucas, but it was after the 1st down. So Baldwin still with life with just under 90 seconds left in this one.
Now that second hit by Lucas, the big hit. Now Mason Stahl running left. A flag is down as Stahl runs, picks up positive yardage, slides to that far boundary and steps out of bounds. And this penalty back here probably is going to go against Woodland Hills for illegal hands to the face because offensive lineman Mason Berkwin ended up losing his lid. And what I caught out of the corner of my eye was a hand to the face before that helmet came off.
It'll be 2 weeks in a row we saw illegal use of hands to the face call on the Wolverines. I thought we actually might get a holding call in Baldwin, but it doesn't look like that's what it will be. It will be hands to the face. You're correct.
I mean, like I said, I caught that out of the corner of my eye. The second the helmet hit the ground, I saw the head going back there. And guilty party for Woodland Hills was defensive end Anthony Collins. Lines up like an outside linebacker most of the time.
Yeah, that was a good point there. I heard in the press box, 55 is not supposed to be on the field. He has to leave the game for a play, I thought. Maybe unless, if it's after a penalty, maybe you don't have to.
I have no idea. I mean,
I've always known that to be the rule. If your helmet comes off, you have to leave. But maybe if you're the victim of a penalty like that, you're able to stay on.
Yeah, it wasn't as a consequence of a regular play. It was because the helmet had come off. Now the umpire checking with the referee to confirm that 55 can stay on the field. The referee confirms that he may, so they will continue. 1st and 10 for Baldwin. The ball at the Woodland Hills 40 with 1:15 to go. Mason Stahl rolling to his right, throwing to his right-hand side, and the pass is to Nasir Penn is complete, and Penn catching it at the 24-yard line where it's a first down for the Baldwin Highlanders.
Yeah, and as we know in high school, clock stops to reset the chains. So now with 1:07 left, starting the clock now.
Just over a minute to go as Mason Stahl in the shotgun. Ball on the right hash. Looks right, throws to the right-hand side, and the ball is, nearly intercepted. Stepping in front of the wide receiver was defensive back Taylon Brooks, and Brooks just couldn't hang on.
Would have been his second pick of the year, had a nice interception at Peters Township. Not quite sure, maybe it was the wetness of the ball still, or maybe he just got a little over-anxious there to start running, couldn't bring it in.
Rain has started to fall again as it stopped momentarily. But this is a much lighter rain than we saw through the first quarter and a half of this second half. Stahl pump fakes, then throws down the near sideline, and the pass intended for Nasir Penn is incomplete. On the coverage, Jay Smith for Woodland Hills.
Nice job by Smith. Had good coverage on Penn there. Could have been completed, I think, if the ball was placed a little bit better, but now they face a third down.
Under a minute to go here. Woodland Hills up by 12. Baldwin threatening with 3rd down and 10 at the Woodland Hills 24-yard line. Highlanders with trips to the short side right, Twins to the wide side left. Ball on the right hash as Mason Stahl is in the shotgun. A lot of time being eclipsed here on the play clock.
Yeah, absolutely.
No delay though. Mason Stahl pressured, happy feet now as he rolls to his left-hand side. Settles and throws. The ball is tipped, batted. Is it intercepted? No call, it is. It's an INT for Woody High. And the big interception for Tavian Brooks, his second in as many weeks.
That's a great play by Tavian Brooks. Had great coverage and is able to hopefully put this one away for the Wolverines.
40 seconds to go here in the interception by Tavian Brooks. And the Woodland Hills defense stands strong again. Baldwin driving the ball deep into Woodland Hills territory. And again, the Woodland Hills defense takes the ball away from Baldwin. First and 10 for Woodland Hills, the ball at their own 5. As the rain starts to fall a little bit harder here in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. Gavin Judson steps under center, takes a knee. And the clock will wind here. 35 seconds to go, and Baldwin will be happy to allow the clock to expire. And Woodland Hills gets their first win on the season. And not only is it a win, it's a conference win.
Exactly what they need, Adam, if they want to get things started and try and fight their way into the playoffs here. A win this week is what they needed. And next week doesn't get any easier at West Allegheny, but huge to get that first one, and hopefully they can continue it.
We are going to step away for a couple of minutes, and when we return, we will take you into the post-game coverage. Woodland Hills with the 12-0 win over the Baldwin Highlanders. Woodland Hills now 1-4. Baldwin now 3-2. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com. The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 3/4 of a century. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now. Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, with locations in East Pittsburgh and Turtle Creek, is a member of the Hall of Excellence of the National Funeral Directors Association. This reflects the same pursuit of excellence by our Woodland Hills football team, cheerleaders, marching band, students, staff, and faculty. For over 110 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home has been honored to serve local families and to be a proud partner of the Woodland Hills communities.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Woodland Hills defeats the Baldwin Highlanders 12-0. Adam Gusky and Eric Shuley on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Woodland Hills gets their first win on the season with a 12-0 win over the Baldwin Highlanders. Woodland Hills is now 1-4 on the season and 1-3 within Allegheny 9 conference play. Baldwin falls to 3-2 on the season and 1-2 within that same Allegheny 9 conference. Taking a look at the scoring recap, not much scoring. It all came in the second quarter. 3-yard touchdown run by Anthony Meredith, a punt block by Christopher Jones led to the next 2 points, and then a 22-yard field goal by Chucky Hanchett capped off the scoring, making it 12-0 Woodland Hills. Looking into the second half, punts, turnovers on downs, fumble, punt, turnover on downs, punt, interception, and end of the game.
Yeah, Adam, it was another great defensive game for the Wolverines. Offense did what they had to do. Defense, this is the second game in a row where they haven't given up any points, the defense, that is. And just a great effort all over the field by every man on that defense. And the offense, too, did a great job dealing with these conditions.
Yeah, especially in the second half. You know, you consider the fact that the ball got so very wet and we saw so many snaps fumbled. And Baldwin ended up turning the ball over twice on fumbled exchanges between the quarterback and center. We saw their quarterback fumble a couple of other times as well that was recovered by Baldwin. Meanwhile, Gavin Judson only fumbled the ball and turned it over one time, considering all of those negative field conditions.
Yeah, we know the Wolverines have had snapping issues, but even with the conditions, they had some trouble, but they were able to control it and not let Baldwin have that big play.
Head coach Tim Bostard gets his first victory of the 2018 season, his second year as head man of the Woodland Hills Wolverines. We're going to step away for 2 more minutes. When we return, post-game superlatives and wrap it up for you. Again, your final score, Woodland Hills 12, the Baldwin Highlanders 0. To the Wolverines and the Highlanders post-game show here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Woodland Hills football is brought to you in part by the law offices of Owen Seaman. Owen is a Woodland Hills alumnus who studied law at Duquesne University and has been practicing law in the Pittsburgh area for over 15 years. Attorney Owen Seaman's experience encompasses virtually every facet of criminal defense. If you find yourself in need of criminal defense representation, call Owen at 412-721-0412 or visit owenthelawyer.com. There are a few things that guys like more than a great haircut at a real barbershop. And at the Barber's Inn on Washington Avenue in Swissvale, you'll find both. Plus, you can relax in style on supple leather sofas while watching their big screen HD TV. You can even shoot some pool while you wait. But most importantly, you'll walk out the door with a haircut or shave that you're sure to love. Walk-ins are always welcome at the Barber's Inn. For more information, call 412-271-7434. And remember, real men come to the Barber's Inn.
LG3 Entertainment is a first-class disc jockey and karaoke entertainment company that serves the Pittsburgh and surrounding areas. They offer a wide range of music entertainment for weddings, anniversaries, school dances, corporate events, and more. They also offer beautiful chair cover linen rentals to give your event the elegance it deserves. They offer many more services, so go to their website today and see why so many choose LG3 Entertainment for the best in family fun entertainment. Whether you need a new website or want to improve your existing site, Web Landings can serve your needs. Web Landings provides professional, easy-to-maintain websites for businesses, organizations, and individuals. Discover more at weblandings.com and find out how editing your site can be as easy as using a word processor. Plus, we offer 1 year of free hosting for any website developed. Visit weblandings.com today.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Woodland Hills defeats Baldwin by a final score of 12-0. Post-game coverage here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Adam Gusky and Eric Schulich on the call for you all night long here in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. And it's time for our post-game superlatives, Eric. And, you know, in a game where it's 12-0 and a lot of defense shown the brightest, there's going to be a theme for tonight's post-game superlatives. But, of course, we usually start off with the Attorney Owen Seaman defensive stand of the game, and that's an obvious one. Woodland Hills started the second half with the ball at their own 20-yard line, ended up turning the ball over on downs on a punt snap that forced Chucky Hanchett to go down on his knee. That gave Baldwin the ball at the Woodland Hills 15-yard line. They drove the ball all the way inside of the Woodland Hills 5, ultimately getting down to the 1-yard line before being pushed back. Now on 4th and goal at the 2, Baldwin tried to run to the right-hand side, and the Woodland Hills defense stifled that run, brought the ball carrier down shy of the goal line, and that turnover on downs was our Attorney Owen Seaman defensive stand of the game.
And not only did it keep them off the board, Adam, but it gave the defense that much more momentum. They were already playing so well, and it was just able to carry over to the offense, and they did what they had to do to close out the game.
Now, we were flipping a coin here to determine what would be our Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home play of the game. Was it going to be that defensive stop on 4th down on the turnover on downs, or was it going to be the punt return by Jaden Lucas that set up the first score for Woodland Hills? And we decided Jaden Lucas, last week's State Senator Jay Costa player of the game, is responsible for the biggest play of this game, that 40-yard punt return that set up the Woodland Hills TD.
Yeah, he came out of a cannon there. So much speed he showed along the sideline. Almost was able to get in, but he put the Wolverines close enough, and the Wolverines were able to stuff it in there with Anthony Meredith and get 6 and get on the board. Yeah,
that 3-yard touchdown run by Meredith was the first score of the game and ultimately the winning score for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Now, we've talked about our Attorney Owen Seaman defensive stand of the game and our Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home play of the game, but we're going to go a little non-traditional for our State Senator Jay Costa player of the game, and mostly because he did a lot of things, the small things, that led to a Woodland Hills victory, and not just on the scoreboard, but turning field position and getting the ball out of precarious circumstance. Chucky Hanchett is our State Senator Jay Costa player of the game for not only kicking that field goal to put Woodland Hills up 12-zip, but those big punts.
Chucky Hanchett did a great job. He got that field goal. He was able to handle the snaps, which have been problems in regular conditions for the Wolverines, and let alone conditions like this. And he was able, other than that knee, which was just something like that can happen to you, he was able to be very poised, get off some great punts, and handle pretty much every snap that he took.
Well, Eric, before we wrap it up and look forward to next week, and West Allegheny put a bow on this one.
Well, Adam, it was a huge conference win. If you want to get into the playoffs, 16 teams make it. We know that. So 5 out of each conference plus one wild card. This was a huge win for the Wolverines moving forward. Hopefully they can get another one against West Allegheny. And again, the defense was fantastic.
Again, Woodland Hills defeating the Baldwin Highlanders by a final score of 12-0 here at the Wolverine. Woodland Hills is now 1-4 on the season, 1-3 within Allegheny 9 conference play. Next week they take on the West Allegheny Indians, and we will have the call for you right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Eric Shuley and Rick McIntyre will be on the call for you for that one. For my broadcast partner Eric Shuley and our entire broadcast crew, I'm Adam Gusky. Thanking you for joining us for this broadcast of the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the Baldwin Highlanders on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Today's broadcast of Wolverine football was presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Wolverine football is also brought to you by the Triangle Barn Grill, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, the law offices of Owen Seaman, Bush Brothers Car Care, the Barbers Inn in Swissvale, LG3 Entertainment, Web Landings, ABOS Opticians, Matthews Auto Service, and DeZubin Dental Associates. This broadcast has been a presentation of A.W. Gusky Productions and LG3 Entertainment. Copyright 2018.